Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a wonderful day so far. Happy holidays to any of you who celebrate any relevant holidays. Let's see, and we get to start today with this Tallcat puzzle. So this is a very special Tallcat puzzle because Tallcat made this to celebrate his 2-year setiversary. So I believe this is published 2 years to the day after Tallcat's first LMD puzzle. Tallcat can correct me if I remember the details on that not completely correct, or correctly, but something roughly approximating that. So I admit I was very excited to do this puzzle. I know Tallcat couldn't join us on Friday, so Tallcat asked me not to do this on Friday, or I definitely would have, because I was very excited, because this combines a whole lot of my favorite different Sudoku things. So this puzzle features a loop, which is my jam lately. It features a Jay Dyer deconstruction, so we have to sort of shove some 3x3 boxes into this grid somehow. So we have that element. And then we have this whole sort of like roller coaster thing where we have to draw this loop in, and our clues are going to tell us things about the sums of the digits on those. I will mention I just published a loop puzzle, which in fact Tallcat did minutes before hopping on here today, or before I hopped on here today, called Denver. If you are interested in a country road Philomeno loop puzzle, it is up on LMD. It came in at 4 stars, much to my surprise. I was sort of expecting 2 or 3. I think it's in the realm of approachable, maybe. Tallcat says it's not as scary as it sounds. I think several people found it scarier than it sounded. But anyway, I like it. It is currently doing well on LMD, and well, anyway, I enjoyed it. But ooh, yeah, Russ just did Alfonso. I think it's significantly less tricky than Alfonso and Lori. I could be wrong. But I think the final step of Alfonso and Lori is very, very complicated. But we shall see. Yeah, Alfonso and Lori does something that I almost never do in Sudoku puzzles, which is that it gets progressively more difficult as it goes on. Which is just not just almost by their nature, it's not something that's likely to happen in Sudoku puzzles. But anyway, so let us talk about the rules now of Tallcat's puzzle. So this is an 11 by 11, I hope. Yes, this is an 11 by 11 grid. And so Sudoku-logically, we have to fit 9 boxes sort of hiding around in here. Something like this. Oh, that's right. I should say who voted for this, right? So the voters for this puzzle, by the way, I should say, I always vote for the... I always start with the puzzle that has been most voted on. So here's the puzzle, here's the voters for this puzzle. So this was voted for by Woofer, Doomdiat, Luda, Ambrose, Tallcat, Russ, Jay, Dyer, Math Pesto, David, and DDX. Thank you so much for all of your support. I should say, in case you don't know how this works, people who support at the windmill level or above get access to the list of puzzles I'm thinking about doing, and then they can vote on what puzzles what puzzle they would most like to see, and they can vote on as many puzzles as they like, and so we collect votes, and then we look and see whatever the most voted on puzzle is, and then we do that. So anyway, so if you would like to support the channel, you can do that. All right, so we have to fit these squares in here, and so the conceit of this puzzle is that in every square I need to put the digits 1 through 9 once each. So they're like Sudoku boxes, and they're also like Sudoku in that I can't repeat digits in a row or column. But the difference is that there's lots of cells that will just contain absolutely nothing. And so we'll probably denote those by gray or black, whatever ends up seeming most right. Let's see, probably that gray, I'm going to guess. And so these cells, for purposes of this puzzle, are treated as though they contain the digit 0, but the digit 0 is allowed to repeat, so that's fine. You don't have to worry about the digit I was going to say about the digit yellow. Oh, this is going to be a day. About the digit 0. Okay, so that is the region part. There's also a loop that moves orthogonally through the grid. That's not orthogonally. Thank you, Sven. As the loop goes around, it visits every box exactly once. Country road style, if you will. But also we have these roller coaster clues, which tell you the sum of all of the digits in each sort of in rows, it's giving you the sum of the horizontal ones. So for example, in this row, it would be telling me these two sum to a number ending in 3. Whereas like most of these would be sort of totally incoherent as these things go. But something like if I had one of these little wiggles in here, it would be telling me these two have a single digit sum and these two have a single digit sum. And the clue's also complete. So, for example, like this is definitely not what the loop actually looks like because there's supposed to be 2 horizontal loop segments in this row. And there's supposed to be 4 vertical loop segments in this row. Also, this isn't a loop. That's another reason why it's not complete. Take your... no! Sven, why? Why you have to do that? Okay, so we will go back like that. Okay, so there is a secret to these puzzles, which is that every time I fill in those boxes, there are certain cells, and I've been given a bet tree, which is row 3, column 3, in fact. So, spoiler, the bet tree does contain a digit, because these cells, the ones whose row and column labels are divisible by 3, they will always, in a completed Jay Dyer deconstruction, they will always contain a digit. And so lots of people like to think about this in a matter of trying to think about these things. Let's see, Tristan encouraging me to change the tree to default so it shows up better. I can do that. Let's see. Do I want to just repeat the regions down below, or do I want to dip into some of our other colors? Let's see. We can do some Simon Sweater, some Sea Breeze. Tristan would like me to leave the tree, but choose better. So make this one yellow. Oops. That didn't help. Get rid of... sorry. I realize why this is not working now. It's because I'm there. Make this yellow, not red. Go away. Go away. There we go. Make this yellow. There we go. And then make this red. That's what Tristan would like. There we go. That looks better. And make this my burnt umber. Okay. So we can have our little region collection here. So we can dip into the bifurcation puzzles for these regions down here. But the thing is, for all of these cells, they're all in a region, and actually it's each region once each. Because if these two could never be in the same box, because they're not close enough together. So that's sort of the magic of this 11 by 11 grid. All right. So, should we swap around maybe like the Simon Sweater with the let's see. Maybe we want to put the Sea Breeze over here. And maybe the Simon Sweater, and then maybe the burnt umber like that. Although burnt umber, I guess, is a little close to orange. Maybe we could do this like the spicy yellow that I don't know is really that distinct from this yellow. In fact, like when I'm trying to upset chat, I will put these two yellows next to each other and pretend I don't see it. But we'll do our best to do that. Let's see. Is there something on this palette? Let's see. Perhaps we'll make do with this for now. The yellow nightmare, yes. The yellow nightmare indeed. Let's see. All right. So let us figure out what it is that we're going to do with our lives. Okay, so immediately I'm noticing that it's pretty interesting that there are 5 clues in this row. By the way, notice 0 is possible because 0 is the sum of all the cells as long as all the cells are gray. So we have to constantly contend with the fact that, like, for example, this 2 could actually be like an 18-digit sum to 2. Oh, DDX has donated 100 shekels. Thank you, DDX. Let's give you a donation dance. Woohoo! Woohoo! Thank you so much for the super chat, DDX. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate your support. So yeah, so if I absolutely max this out, I could get away with getting to 5 cells like that. So I still have a little wiggle room within this row that I have to contend with. Thank you, Sven. Thank you. Okay, I need to set this to center only. I don't think I need to draw on edges. Oh yes, please take a second to like the stream if you have not yet done so. It does very much help us out with stuff and things. So the original thing I thought I convinced myself of when I looked at this grid was that this cell couldn't be yellow because of this 0 clue. But I don't think that's actually true. But I think I do need to keep track of I do need to keep careful track of. Okay, well here's an easy thing to notice, actually. There is an easy thing to notice. All of these have to go down, which means I have to now go through my color palette and find them. Because if one of these does not go down, then I'm not going to have 4 separate numbers here. Because at a minimum, this requires 2, 4, 6, 7 cells to be in boxes in this row. And so all the boxes need to come down, because otherwise there aren't 7 cells in this row. So I think that's the yellow. That's the Simon sweater. Oh, a question mark can be 0. Ah, question mark can be 0. It specifically says, in my brain I read that clues can't have a leading 0, but clues can have a leading 0, but 2-digit cells can't have a leading 0. So now we have to convince ourselves if that's actually true. Because if this is 0, I could actually have... Okay, so the question is, can I possibly get to 6 cells? No, that's not possible. So even if this is 0, I still can't make this row work without everything coming down. I believe. Because I still need these two double-digit sums. Still need to be far enough apart that I mean, it doesn't even matter that they're double digit. They just have to be far enough apart that I can't possibly have enough digits in this row unless I make everything come down. And you can look in chat for Tallcat's more elegant explanation of why that's true. Okay, but all of these have to come down. And so the point is now that I think is going to force the two grays to be here. Because if this is not my double gray 0, where on earth am I putting my double gray 0? And the answer is absolutely nowhere. Because if I try and put it anywhere else, then I'm not going to have room. Because remember, I only have one wiggle in this whole row. Because if I filled it out absolutely minimally, this cell is the only one that was unused. So I think we get that these two, are gray. We'll try that gray, which is then going to push the yellow over there, the green over there, and the sky over there. And I'm going to know that this is going to go like that, and I know that it does not continue in either direction. And now I need to put still 3 more loops over here, so all of that's forced. These are all X's. Like that. Okay. And I know this is on the loop. It could either be, it could either do that, or it could do that, or it could do that, but in all instances it is on the loop. Okay, so that is good. Okay, in this column, we've got our 2 things. Okay. Simple deconstruction observation. These are now not part of regions. And so if I now look at this sum, this 2 is the bottom vertical strip here. If this went down, it would be a 0. So it's not a 0. So it goes up. Oh, also these are gray. And so it goes up again. At least 1. Okay, so we've got some more stuff going on there. Let's see. Okay, so I need to get a 0 down here, a 23. The 23 is going to have to be here, isn't it? Because if I don't put the 23 here, then I have to fit a 23, a 0, and a 14 over here, and there's not enough room. So in fact, the 23 has to be here, and yellow is now done. So there's a 23, which is going to... I don't quite know exactly what it has to look like, other than that it involves these cells. Oh, but I don't even know that it involves those cells. Oh, no, I think, yeah. If green comes down now, I think life becomes impossible. No, that's not quite true. Let me say this carefully. I think this segment needs to be part of the 0. I think if this segment is not part of the 0, oh, maybe not. Maybe the 0 is just like in here somewhere. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. What I'm trying to decide really is if it's possible that this 23 has some green in it. Which looks bad, but is maybe not completely impossible. No, it's definitely completely impossible. If the 23... So let me just switch into the bifurcation palette here for a second. If green comes down here, and I try and let this loop include some green, the problem is that now I have to fit my 0 and my 14 over here, but every clue in a roller coaster puzzle is at least 2 cells. That does not work. So we revert from that, and we say that that this loop definitely does not get into the green. So that means all 3 of these are part of the horizontal loop. This is a corner, which means that it has to go like that. Oh no, I did the yellow thing, didn't I? I absolutely did the yellow thing. I'm sorry, chat. You've been very well behaved today. I didn't mean to do this to you. Well, yeah, we know what the digits are, but don't we want to think about loop instead? That sounds more fun. Okay, so this is definitely part of something. My question is, knowing that this is part of the loop, does that tell me something? I is not sure. Okay. I don't think I can have any horizontal stuff going on in this row in yellow, because if I did, I would have a Naverio problem, which is that if I had any horizontal stuff here, it would have to be a 20-something number. And this is a 20-something number, and those two together would sum to at least 43, which would mean these three digits would sum to at most 2. So I can actually put X's in all of this stuff. My 20-something clue is not over there. My 20-something clue is all the way over here. So whatever happens, I end up in that universe. So I think the 0 is just somewhere in here, is the idea that I have. So I guess the point is, if this is green, I think we still have a problem. So I think if this is green, I think it still doesn't work. Because if this is green, of course, these are green. And now the point is I can't get a 0 in here because that would create a little loop and we'd have a problem. And then I'd have to create my gray over here. That's not going to work either. So I believe this is what Carl was asking or hinting at. This cell's always gray. So in fact, green always finishes like this. And so in fact, oops, no. In fact, these are always gray as well. And so these are always blue, because if they're not, then we can't finish the 14 clue. So we've got our blue down here like that. This orange has to go up now, by the way, because it's getting pushed up by this, and that pushes this red up like that. I appreciate that my 3 boxes that I made weird colors are all finished immediately. So we've got that. So now, if this doesn't go down, it's going to seem awfully difficult to make this work. Because if this does not go down, then what's going to happen is I'm going to have to... Oh, no, maybe I could make it work like that. No, that would be visiting the green more than once, wouldn't it? Would this be visiting green more than once? I think that's visiting green more than once. Yeah, that's visiting green more than once. I can't do that. So I think if I just look, I need a horizontal segment in here of length at least 2. Where is it going to go up? It can't go up there. So it's got to go up here, because otherwise it goes up twice into green, which then makes green visited twice. So the point is that's always part of it. We at least go that far. So that's always there. Notice that's that sum. That sum is a single-digit 0, as opposed to a double-digit 0. And now the question is just, where is this going to poke up into green? And it's going to poke up into green somewhere. And so now the question, I think, that Carl is hinting at is what's happening with this cell. Which is, I think if this cell goes up from here, I think we're screwed. I need to draw this. If this goes up from here, then when I do my 14 clue, It certainly can't look like this. That would create a mini loop. And so it would certainly include at least these cells. And I think the point is now, no matter what, I'm visiting green twice. Right? I think that's true. Oh, there's a way easier way to see this. I'm seeing this in the most complicated possible way. I think my argument is correct, but it's way overcomplicated. It's just not possible to make a sum of 14 and 2 with 6, 8, and 9 going in the row. So that is the much, much, much easier way that does not involve the loopy business that I was just doing. I think the loopy business I was doing was correct, but the easy way to do it is the only ways to make 14 and 2 are 6, 8, and 5, 9, and both of those are gone. So therefore this always happens, and this is a corner, so that always happens, and this is a corner, so that always happens. That's what Carl was trying to say that I did not understand at the time. Okay, and so these are from 6, 7, 8, 9, and we have a digit, because these two digits sum to 15, and so this is a 6, 7, 8, or 9, but of those it can only be a 7, and we get to do a 7 dance. Woohoo! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Much appreciated. And so that buys us an 8, which buys us that this digit's at least 2. Because of the fact that this is a double-digit sum. And actually, it can't be a 9 because I'm getting a single-digit sum in the column. And it can't be 7 because there's a 7 in the box. So actually, this can only be 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Let's see. Okay, so this can't turn this way, because if it turned that way, there's no way I'm connecting this. Oh, that's not true. Never mind. I retract that claim, because this can connect that way, or it can connect that way. Okay, people are talking about row 11, column 6. Yes, that's true. So chat has this beautiful point. I'm going to make the easier point first, and then I'll make the harder point. First, this is a corner. Second, if you look at this, if it turns up, that corresponds to this double-digit clue, and that's a problem, as several people in chat have pointed out. So that does not happen. So this is a corner. This extends. Tallcat points out that actually if this did turn this direction, it would sum to at least 20 in 2 digits. That's not possible, so it doesn't do that. If this turns left, actually, I think we also have a problem. Because I know green gets entered from below down here. If this turns left... Oh, maybe that's not true. Maybe it could turn left and do that. That might still be fine. Never mind. Let's see. This column's actually getting rather packed. Is this column's geometry now forced? So I could do 2, 2, 2. No, not quite. Almost, though. It's getting very close to forced. Okay. We have a loop trick now. So this cell I know is part of the loop. It can't go horizontally anymore, because if I go horizontally straight across, it makes a complete loop. And so this needs to go 2 of the 3 directions, but it's not those 2, and therefore it always goes this way. And because of my x's, that means it always makes it up to there as well. So that is additional loopage information. Yeah, so this is a... Do I know anything about whether this is a 2-cell sum to 13? I don't know. Oh, fair point from Carl. There's still a 20-something clue in row 9, which is at least 3 cells in size. So it could be those 3 cells. It could be these 3 cells. So the thing I know is this cell's for sure visited, because if this cell is not part of that horizontal thing, then I'm never happy with my life anymore. Oh, this can't go down. If this goes down, then green can't have any more cells in it. That's the easy thing to see, because then green has got its 1 visit. So this certainly goes up into that cell. Now if this comes here, it's forced to connect to that, so it can't. So this comes up here. And now if this comes up here, it's a dead end. So this comes up there. Okay, good. Okay, now this can't possibly go right, because if it goes right, it finishes the loop, so it goes left instead. And we've got our 20-something clue over here. Good. All right. So we've got all that figured out down there. This is a 20-something clue. I think someone in chat was pointing that out, that there was a 20-something clue somewhere I wasn't looking at. So this, in fact, goes up at least that far, which means that now this is forced to do that, just to make that plausibly work. There's definitely an 8 in here, just by Sudoku, because this row needs an 8. And it's not there, and it's not there. So the 8 is on here. Not that it's immediately useful, but it will probably be useful someday. Oh, let's see. DWeb claims there's only 112, and Ilm also claims there's only one way to sum to 12. It's not 6, 6. Could be 5, 7, not 4, 8, or 3, 9. So it is in fact 5, 7. So there's a 7 in here as well. For the same reason. And so these digits here need to have a 7 and an 8 and a digit that's at least 5. So these are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because they need to sum to at least 20. Again, I don't know if that's at all useful, but I'm going to record it anyway. I know what these digits are. Mark, help me. Oh, my mark button did not work super well. Okay, well, Mark is not going to help me today, apparently. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so these are from itty-bitty numbers. Okay, so is the point that even these... Are these so itty-bitty that I need more than one additional cell here? No, I don't think so. These are so... No, that... Okay, I do need at least one more cell in the sum, but I've already got one more cell in the sum, so that's fine. Let's see... this needs to be a double-digit sum. Is that interesting? That's probably interesting. This isn't a 5 anymore, because there's a 5-7 pair looking at it. Oh, do I know what this is? These two need to sum to 7. They're not 1, 6. So these are 2, 5, or 3, 4. Yes, they are itty-bitty enough to force this to go up one more, because this could be part of the thing too, and so it could be like 7, 4, and something. Very smart. Okay. So Josh has a gorgeous point about where 9 goes in blue. The point is this digit's never a 9. I should have pencil marked that before. Because I actually, if I'd have pencil marked it, it would have been obvious. This digit can't be a 9. And so therefore the 9 in blue is up here somewhere. It's actually not there either. But the point is that 9 looks over here and means these aren't 9. And so these are a 7 and an 8 together with a 6 or a 5. Those are the only options. that maybe didn't do as much as I thought it was going to. I know there's a 9 down here now, actually. And I know the 9 down here. So just by row 10, there needs to be a 9 down here. The 9 can't go in a single cell sum with a positive number. So the 9's actually in here. And again, these two have a single digit sum, but I don't think that tells me an enormous amount. Yeah, I don't think it quite does. It's maybe close to telling me something. Oh, Jovi on ones. Yes, there's a 1 here and a 1 here. And so those are the 2 ones for these rows. So I can't put a 1 in green down here is the point, so the 1 is up here somewhere. So we've got that. 10, 9, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, no region has to get it. Let's see. Is row 8, column 3? Okay, there we go. So Screaming Ice Cube has a very well-spotted point. This is a country road thing. If this is blue, we have a huge problem. So let us... Oh, wait, no, maybe that's not true. Never mind. This can't be blue, though. This I can prove can't be blue. So here's my thing. If this is blue... Oops, I don't know how it became white. What the hell is happening? If this became blue, the problem is it makes all of this also blue. And now the problem is the loop ends, because the loop can't visit this region more than once. So this cell, and I don't know how closely or not closely related this is to Screaming Ice Cube's point, but I saw it. This cell is never part of any region. And so this cell is never part of any region. And so now we do get the point. So I think this is what Screaming Ice Cube wanted me to see. But they were talking about row 8, column 3, and I think it was row 8, column 2 that was relevant. These two now can't sum to enough, so this has to go up at least 1. This is going to have to go up even more than that, I think, now. Because now, if this is blue, we have exactly the same problem. Because now if this is blue, these are both blue. This is nothing. Because of geometry. And so this sum, which certainly is not at a 20-something number yet, has to go up. And now we're dead again. Because now we've entered blue twice, and so these connect, and my loop only visits 2 of the regions. So that doesn't work either. So this is actually also gray. This is also gray. This loop continues up again. Now over here. So we've got all of that, which is powerful, it seems. I don't think the line has to extend to yellow. Oh, actually... Yeah, I think Garian's right. I think we have exactly the same problem. Yeah. The problem is this line just can't enter blue at all. Because if this line enters blue... I guess the point is, here's the way to say it that's much more elegant than the horrible way I'm saying it. This sum is always entering blue. There is no way that this vertical sum does not enter blue. Therefore, this vertical sum cannot possibly enter blue, because if it did, the loop would end. So the point is, blue just can't extend left at all. Blue must extend all the way right. Because of that. Because no matter where blue actually hits this thing, we're going to be in trouble. And so, therefore, this needs to hit yellow at some point. And so, in fact, actually, this thing ends in yellow, and then this double-digit sum is also a vertical sum in yellow. It's a 2-digit sum in yellow. These are now gray. We can push around some other stuff. Orange has gotten pushed around like this. Purple's gotten pushed around like this. Okay. So we have all of that happening. That's very cool. I like that. That's a very cool bit of logic, this whole observation that these vertical sums can't both enter blue, and so it sort of forces all of this geometry, is very sweet. I need to find my way to a 2 in here. Oh, here's a very easy point. This can't go left, so it goes up. If this went left, the problem is it would break this clue because there would be 2 of those in the row. That's not going to work. So this always goes up. Things become much more restricted if this is part of purple, because this I know is not a 1. But this could be a 1, annoyingly. Has this now gone up enough that this is forced? No, not yet. This needs to go up 1 more before it's completely forced. Jim is looking at the row 8 sums. Assuming this is really row 8, I don't see the interesting thing there. But can the row 8 sums come only from blue and purple? Oh, okay, so yeah, so here's an interesting point, I guess, that I had not appreciated. I know none of these are visited by the loop at all. So if I want, I can just X those out just to remind me of that. These are not part of the row 8 sum. So Jim has a very good point that I was just not appreciating. Because the loop is done moving through forest, these are just unvisited. And so my 2 sums here, I can't have 2 sums over there, so I have to have a sum over here, and that sum has to come from blue. Okay, I understand Jim's point now. But the other part of the sum actually has to come from purple. And so we're actually going to get that for free. Quote unquote's free. Yeah, I was missing that that green was unenterable. So now this definitely is loop. It's part of a 2-cell 8 sum, so it's either 2, 6 or 3, 5 because 1 is gone. So this is a 2, 6 or a 3, 5. Those are the only options. Yes, and we actually know that this is a 2, and that the loop turns. Ilm points out because of that 2. So this is a 2, this turns, that's a 6, this turns, this goes up as well. So we've got all of that. My 6 sum is a 1, 5, wherever it happens. I've still got a little bit of wiggle room. I guess this is always a 1 or a 5, is the point. Because regardless of whether my 6 sum is here or here, this is part of it and is the 1, 5. Okay. And this digit, is being pointed out, is quite constrained by Screaming Ice Cube, because this is now supposed to be a single-digit sum. So this can only be a 1 or a 3. Right, okay. Sorry. Tallcat points out totally correctly. I know that the sum is either here or here, but I actually know it's not here because that would be another visit to blue. So in fact, my 1, 5 sum is here, which tells me that that's in fact a 3. This now can't turn that way because it would exit blue, so it can only turn that way. This needs to turn that way because if it doesn't, then I leave blue again. And so, in fact, actually, we end up with that shape. Uh-oh, I did it wrong. The question mark in column 4 is 0. Oh. Nope, no, okay, sorry. Sorry, that was all wrong, because that was all predicated on the idea that this digit was needed to be small in order to make this clue work out. But actually, the opposite is true. This actually needs to be big, because it's the double-digit sum. But still, my 1, 5 point is still true, and so this is still 1, 5. And so this still needs to work like that. But now the point is this is constrained because it needs to make this big, so this needs to be at least 4. It's not 6, it's not 5, because there's a 5 in the box already, so this is a 4, 7, 8, or a 9 in order to make that work. These two need to have a double-digit sum. But I don't know if that's interesting. Yeah, and we still have to put 2 more of these things up here. Wait, how am I ever making 8? Oh, the 8 has to be... Yeah, I should think about how I'm getting stuff into this column. Because I certainly need to make a positive number in this column. The only way that's happening is if red comes this way. Because orange can't make it into that column, yellow can't make it into that column, so that needs to happen. This red needs to come up here. And I need to get to a sum of 8. The problem is I have no way of making a sum of 8, because 1, 7, 2, 5, 2, 6, and 3, 5 are all gone. So I think I've... Oh, no, it has to be 8, 0. The sum has to be 8, 0, is the point. The only way I can make 8, because of the digits going in the column, is 8, 0. And so this can't be the loop, is the point. This has to be the loop, where this is turning there, and this is an 8. That's the point. And so that doesn't quite force where my question mark is, but it does force that red goes down. This can't be gray and this be red, D-Web, because then red would have to go up here into this row. And the 8 is at the top. So that actually forces the red down, which actually forces the orange down. Like that. This is gray, agree. So my single-digit sum of question mark could be any combination of these. Right, there's another clue in the column in between. That's why I was definitely using the fact that this had to be either here or here. Those were the only 2 spots that this could be, because of the fact that I need to throw in a single-digit sum that definitely includes this cell, whatever this cell happens to be. Let's see. I'm annoyingly keep noticing that this can turn left because the sum could be a 0. Let's see, Nicholas says row 6. I admit I'm just ignoring any clue that features a description of a cell unless I'm desperate because there aren't row column labels. Says this breaks the row 6 clue ? By virtue of the 1-5 pair. And the 2 in the box. Yes. So if this is this is Nicholas's point. If this is a 5, then that's a 1, and so then this is a minimum of 5, 3, 4, and that's too big. So this can't be a 5 because it would break that. No, that's not true. I have to argue more complicatedly than that because I don't know that this is that clue. This could easily be that clue. So I don't think Nicholas's point is correct yet. Because if this is a 5, these could just sum to 9. Unless I've broken... Have I used all my possible ways to sum to 9? So I couldn't do 4, 5, 3, 6. Oh, I have broken all my ways to sum to 9. Yep, I have broken all my ways because it can't be 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, or 4, 5. So yeah, so actually, yeah, this is a horrible proof by cases. I suspect if we waited and did this step later, it would be much nicer. But this can't be a 5 because the two cases both break through multiple subcases. So that's a 1 and that's a 5. Oh, there's a much, much, much easier way to do this. Sorry, there's a much easier way to do this, which is to note that these two can't sum to 13. As Screaming Ice Cube points out. So therefore this comes up. And as soon as that comes up, then I know that this is the single digit sum now. And therefore now this is that. That's what I was expecting, was that if I just waited to do Nicholas's point until later, it wouldn't be horrible. So that is a 1 and a 5. These now... these need to sum to a double-digit number, so this isn't a 4. Yeah, that was beautiful. If you had observed this first, then it was beautiful. So yeah, so now these have to be a 3-4 pair, because if they're not, they're too big. Because otherwise they're 3-7. And so these are from 7, 8, 9. And so now I have to be super careful in this column. Incredibly, incredibly careful in this column. Because 6, 7, and 8 is, yeah. 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3 is already a little dangerous. I don't think it's quite forced, because 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3 is only 27, so that's fine. But still, it's worth remembering that we know we have to be careful. Okay, so DWeb points out, I at least know this digit's not a 9, because if it was, those would sum to 24, and these would sum to at least 6, and that's not going to work. So, the tiniest of tiny deductions. Actually, can this be an 8 either? Actually, if this is an 8, the same thing happens. So actually, this is a very useful point. Because if it's an 8, exactly the same thing happens. Okay, so that's very cool. Really like that. That was... I mean, it looks like it's going to get us absolutely nothing, but it was very cool anyway. Let's see. It's funny how little we know about the state. Well, I know this loop doesn't go up because there's a single digit sum over here. And I know this cell's not a 1 or a 2, so let's look at this column's clue now. This cell's not a 1 or a 2 because those things look at it. So therefore this can't be a 6, because the only way this could be a 6 is if it went with a 1-2 pair, which does not work. So I can at least do that. And so these could still be a 1-2 pair, though. So in general, these can be from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is what they can be. This one I know is not a 1, a 2, or a 6, just by the math in the row. Wow, I'm closing in on my my quintuple here. Oh, this can't be a 6 either. Same reason that can't be a 1 or a 2. So now of these 5 cells, the only one that can possibly be a 6 is that one. Okay. These two sum to 7. Okay, so the probably I can do something if I really think about this math, although I don't know that I really want to at the moment. But if I have to later, I think I can. Okay, so here's a smart spot. 2 in green is down here. Just by sudoku. So that's not a 2, and that's not a 2. And so now these two sum to a minimum of 7. And so therefore this is not a 3, 4, or 5. That was from Josh, although I phrased it slightly differently. Isabella phrased it the way I then spotted it. But I saw it thanks to Josh's comment. So now this is only a 1 or a 2. Now we actually have a quadruple in the row. So now everything else is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. But I actually know the 7 and the 8 in the row are over here, so this is only a 5, or these are only from 5, 6, 9, for whatever that is worth. Oh, and now, where's the 2 in this box? The 2 in this box is now up here. And so because the 2 in this box is here, that makes that a 1. It's kind of the useless direction, but makes that a 1 as well. Also the kind of useless direction. Smart spot from Tallcat. I don't know how Tallcat saw this, but these two sum to 7, and they're not 3, 4 anymore, so they're 2, 5. So this isn't 2 or 5. Oh, so this had better be the other 3, 4. Oh, because these are now not 5. These are now 6, 9, so these don't have a 6 in them, so they're 5, 7, 8. And so this is a 3, 4 pair, meaning that we can look at these cells. They include a 2, not a 3 or a 4 or a 5. They include a 6, not a 7, not an 8, and a 9. And I know this one's not a 9 because... How do I know this one's not a 9? Oh, I know that one's not a 9 because I need this to be a double-digit sum. And so it needs to have a 9 because otherwise it would just be 2 and 6. Oh, I also need this to be a single-digit sum, and so that likewise would be a problem. Either way you look at it. So these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, these are from 1, 3, 4. So therefore this is a 5. So that's a 2 and a 5. Now these sum to 6, so that has to be a 3 and a 4. Getting us that. These digits are just the remainder of 7, 8, 9. Awesome. But the reason why I say that's awesome is because this one sees a 7 and an 8. So that's a 9 and a 6 and a 9. No 9, no 9 there. So we've got all of that. This needs to be a single digit, so that's a 2. Let's see. This needs to be a double digit, so that's an 8. This is a very wonderful puzzle, by the way. I'm quite enjoying this. Okay, maybe we get to do some loop stuff again, though. That would be fun. I'm debating if it's somehow impossible for this to make a sum to 6, because it would need to if that were a 15. It would need to be 2, 4 exactly. But I think there's no reason these can't be 2, 4 exactly. Or even 1, 2, 3 if they really wanted to be. I can do things like corner mark a 1 in here, which lets me then corner mark a 1 in here. Oh, I already have the 15. Right. That's the 15. So this can't go right because it would be a sum of that would be double digits. So this does go this way. Remember, I can't re-enter green, so this has to go up. So we've got all of that. Okay. Do need to get to double digits, so if that's a 1, this has to go up again. People like to do the blacking out the clues thing. I've never gotten used to the blacking out the clues you've used thing, but I see how it could be useful. But it's not a reflex I yet have. I wonder if I can answer the question whether this is turning to the 0 or the 19. I don't know yet. I'm going to take a real quick break, but I'm going to try and mute my mic and see if it works now, so that you can keep looking at the grid while I do this. I'll be right back. It's funny, I came back and I very carefully pulled back the curtain to make sure there wasn't a Tristan waiting to jump out and scream at me like he did last time. Fortunately, this time he did not. This cell is gray, by the way. This is a random thing I notice. No, that's not true. I was thinking yellow can't get here, but yellow can still get there. Never mind. Okay. Let's see. Oh. So yeah, the thing that has been noticed is that there's some interesting questions. If you ask where 1, 3, and 4 go in purple, collectively they're ruled out of these 6 cells, those 6 and these 6. So therefore they go in exactly these, which making these 1, 3, 4, which conveniently makes that a 4 by the magic of Sudoku. And so these cells feature a 2, a 6, and a 7 or an 8. Of those, this one can only be a 2. So one of these is 6, for whatever that is worth. Probably not very much if I were a betting zeta. A betting letter, whatever. And so now, where does 1, 3, 4 go in orange, asks Sayori. 1, 3, 4 in orange now goes here. Not going to be nearly as useful, I don't think, but it'll get there someday. So these are also from 2, 7, 8, for the same reason. That gets us something. It does get us a digit. Right there, because now that's a 7. Okay, there we go. So no 7s there, no 7s there, so that is a 7. Oh, I screwed something up. Oh, it's because these are from 2, 6, 7, 8. Oh, darn. Okay, so that's not a 2 or an 8. Oh, well. It was good while it lasted. Let us see. Poor 6. And these are from 5, 7, 8, 9. Which I don't really know anything about. If it's these two, they have to be 3, 4 exactly. So just looking at this column, if my loop takes both of these, they need to be 3, 4. It needs to be 3, 4 exactly. Loop can't turn right in 7. And right down here. Yeah, if the loop turns right here, this is Carl's point, then I end up with something ending in 8. So that does not work. So I in fact need to get to my something ending in 1 clue, which can't be 6, 7, 8 as much as it wants to be 6, 7, 8. And I don't think any pair of these numbers add up to 11, so it actually has to turn left like that and has to keep going. Just in order to get this question mark 1 clue to get. That was a very good spot from Carl. Because I need to fit this clue somewhere. And I can't make it with only the digits in orange. So I need to use the digit from purple to get there. And so now I need to make these, or possibly all of those, add to other things. But the point is now I need to get more digits in this column, and I don't get any more digits in this column in purple. So these become green, which makes this cell gray, because now nothing can get to it, which makes actually all of this column gray. Oh, question mark can be 0. Never mind. Sorry, this question mark doesn't mean anything. I think that's the only rule I would have changed out of this puzzle, is I would not have allowed question mark to represent 0. Because that's exactly the same as letting a question mark go at the beginning of a double-digit number. Let's see, Carl's point. Didn't we just literally use Carl's point? Like, that's how we did everything, right? Okay, Carl has another point, which is what happens if red takes this this column. Wasn't your point how we got all of this? Wasn't that also your point? But yes, that is a very cool spot. So Carl's point is this. If red comes into this cell... Wow, can you tell these aren't the same red? Because to me, they look identical. The point is, I need to put 2 8s in these columns now. Let me actually umber this, just so that it's super clear what's going on. If red takes this, I now have to put 2 8s in these cells. But I can put no 8s in these cells and no 8s in these cells, so therefore I need to put 2 8s in there, but I can't do that. That's very cool. So, so this is red over here. That is going to gray the... Oh, no, not necessarily. Green could go over there. But yeah, that's very cool. I've never seen that before. Oh, that pushes yellow over to here. Again, those can still be exactly 3, 4 if that's what they want to be in their... If that's what they want out of life. Yep, I can gray these cells. Screaming Ice Cube. No, Ilm pointing out that this is a double-digit clue. It's that clue. So therefore, this is not a 1. That's a 3. That's a 1. Oh, the row 7 one Garion says is unique. So the maximum sum of all of these is 2683. 2683 is 19. Yeah, 2683 is 19, I believe. So the maximum these could possibly add to is 19. So I can't get to 21, so I have to make them add to 11. And so the question is, can I make these add to 8? I sure can, as 2 and 6. Can I make these 3 add to 8? No, in no universe. So therefore, that's not possible, Tristan. There's a 6 down here. So this must turn up. And these have to be 2 and 6. Good spotting from Garion. I know nothing about this column at all. I know that this is not visited. I don't even know that that's worth marking in this puzzle, because I don't think knowing that it's unvisited is useful, but it's true. Oh, Tallcat would like me to go in this row, because the clue is a 4, dweb is y, and so if this was visited, it would have to be visited like that, and these two can't add to 4. So this cell's unvisited, but it's not a country road puzzle, so marking that it's unvisited doesn't really do anything. Oh, Tristan wants me to take a minute to redo my audio filter, and then we'll do the point about from Tallcat. One moment. There we go. Yes, so Tallcat's point is that, in fact, I have a clue ending in 4 here, and so actually, my point about this being unvisited is actually very useful if I keep in mind that I have that clue, because again, I can't go that way, but I need to get to something. None of those are visited, so I have to go that way and bounce up like that. And these digits need to add to 14, which they can only do as 5 and 9. So therefore, that is a 7. That's an 8. Well, I got it for half the sneezes. We'll count it. Okay, so that's an 8. These are not an 8. That is a 7. These aren't 7. Here I'm going for a sum of 12. Could be anything. Let's see. That does give me a little Jovi wing on 9s and on 5s, so there's no 9s or 5s in here. So the 5 is over here. Just by sudokulology. I don't know that that is anything either. This is certainly gray and has been for some time. Very smart spot from Nicholas. If this enters red, we've now made it impossible to visit green, because we would have to somehow then veer off and visit green, but then we're not actually closing the loop unless we go through red. So this has to turn this way. Meaning that these authentically add to 12, meaning that it's a 9 and a 3, making that a 5 and a 7 and a 5 and a 6 and a 9. That was a very good spot. I really like that. No 3, no 3, no 3. Let's see. Mark will probably behave for these. Well enough anyway. Right. So Josh pointing out, I know I need a 19 in the top row. It's not coming from red. If it came from yellow, well, that's just never going to work, because I need some gray. So the green always has to go up to the top row. Very good spot from Josh. So these are not ever part of a region. And so therefore, these are not ever part of a region. These are never part of a region. In order to make that work. Nicholas would like me to pencil mark the 6 in these cells. So I have to get from here to green. And then green has to get to red. But I think I've still got lots of options. Because, like, this could come over here and pick up the 4 there as a 4 plus 0. But I don't think there's any reason I couldn't also do that in green. Oh, my question mark clue in column 5. Right. Okay. Nicholas's pencil mark is huge, actually. D-Web puts the pieces together. So Nicholas's point is, I know there's a 6 in one of these two just by Sudoku, but in order for this to be a vertical line, I needed these to be 3, 4 exactly, and they're not if they involve a 6. And I need another vertical line here, so in fact, that's my other vertical line. This is a corner, so it does that. So these are my 2 horizontal lines in the row. Oh, why not 3, 6? Why did I think 3, 6 was impossible? I don't know why I thought 3, 6 was impossible. I was completely convinced that 3, 6 was impossible. Yes, they could be 3, 6, annoyingly. Well, blame Tallcat. Tallcat should have put a clue in that said it wasn't 3, 6. Let's see. Okay. So, Garian's asking about the green 7. Which, by the way, in chaos constructions, I really dislike this deduction. But in Jay Dyer deconstructions, because there's so much less wigglage, I actually really like the deduction that we're about to do, which is that none of these cells can be 7 just by sudoku. So therefore, green has to go over here or it's never getting a 7, which means all of these are gray. So this has to be a horizontal line because my 19 has to come entirely from green cells. And a 19 sum happens to be a 3-cell sum. Let's just go ahead and mark these cells. Let's see. If this was green, would it be too big? Let's see. If this was green, this could be as small as 3? I guess not. No, never mind. That would not be too big. My way to rule out 6 was to forget that 6 was a digit. Right. That's the point. Okay, Ilm has a smart point. This down segment can't happen because of that single-digit clue. And that single-digit clue, by the way, is already down here. So I just get no more vertical lines in this column at all. I could have very aggressively, as soon as I had that pencil-marked, like, things. But anyway, that means that this has to go this way. And so this has to go down here. Okay. So, that's crazy. Okay. Okay, here's a way to phrase this that is, I think, I only saw it because of the way that Screaming Ice Cube phrased it, but here's a different way to say what Screaming Ice Cube said. These are a sextuple. They're everything except 3, 4, 5. So I'm either dumping a 3, 4, 5 in this column or in this column. However, if I dump a 3, 4, 5 in this column, there's a huge problem, which is that I have not put a 9 in this column. And I now have all the digits. Or if you prefer, I've put a 3, 4, 5 quintuple, sorry, a 1, 3, 4, 5 quintuple in the column. So the 3, 4, 5 goes there, making these gray. Whichever way you want to say that for your, whichever way works for your mental health, go with that one. So these are 3, 4, 5. 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 12. That's not a single digit number. So therefore, this has to turn this way. It is nuts, and I also endorse it. This needs to turn this way, because, again, there's no more vertical lines. So therefore, because I can't close the loop, this has to extend over here. This needs to go down. I think it does, but I'm not 100% convinced that it needs to go down, actually. I am convinced about that, though. Yeah, I need to get a vertical 4 clue. It needs to involve this cell, because if it doesn't involve this cell, it's above that cell, and I don't have any digits, and you can't make any number of zeros sum to 4. So my vertical clue must involve those, which means this has to connect up like this, making that a 4 and that a 1. That was D Webb's point, so that's not a 1 or there. That's not a 4. Let us see. These need to sum to 10. That's going to be tricky. The only way these can sum to 10 is if I absolutely minimize them, which is as 3, 1, and 6. So that is very helpful, presumably. I mean, I don't see anything it does yet, but I'm going to guess it's going to be useful. That's not 6 or 6. So that is an 8 and a 6. These are not 8 anymore. Okay, so I need a sum of 19 up here. That's probably getting pretty restricted. Yes, 8 and 9 and 4 will get me there. Certainly if this is a 2, I'm never getting to 19. So that's always an 8, and that's a 2. But now 8 plus 7... No, 8 plus 7 plus 4 would work. 8 plus 9... 8 plus 9 is too big, so this is 8, 7... and now that's a 4 in order to make that 19 finally work. We have made it. I need some vertical line in this column at some point to appear. That's not a 5 anymore. Let's see, I need some horizontal line ending in 3 here. What do you mean, so it has to turn? It can have zeros in it. I could do that, right? There's plenty of zeros for it to take. I believe. Regrettably. Something like that is still feasible. Yeah, the question is, where is the column 9 clue going? Keep in mind, it can't involve this cell because purple's already dead. So the vertical clue here has to involve some of these. The question is, can the vertical clue involve this? And the answer is yes, but if it does, then it necessarily bends back and takes this vertical segment anyway. I think this is a heinous proof by cases, but I think this always needs to do that. Is there a not heinous way to see this? Like is there a way to sort of visualize that this immediately breaks? You'd have to put that in. Yeah. It's not pretty, but the point to notice is that when I do put in this orange, it's the last entrance and exit for green. And so now wherever I put this vertical segment, I've now trapped it completely because it can't go through green. That's the sort of way to see it. It's not nice, but it's not terrible. So that definitely turns like that. Let us see. If this turns here now, I don't think yellow has to go to row 5, does it? Because this could be a 0. Garion pointing out, this can't turn right because I can't get to a 3 number if it turns right. I know there are no vertical segments here. I just need to get to a double-digit number here. So that's okay. Right, there's no vertical segments over here Tallcat would like me to observe. Because I've already done all of my vertical clues for this row. Ah, right. Okay. Carl has the elegant way to see this. So if this turns right here, it's become that clue, which is not at all a problem until you think about the giant connectivity part. And the problem is it's going to connect, green connects to red, and if green connects to red, this is now isolated. It can't connect anywhere. So this can't actually turn in that direction. It has to go down. That is the point. And now, if this goes down again, then it has nowhere to go. So it can't go down for sure. I'm at least willing to say that. And if this goes right, actually, we also get the same problem. So in fact, this connects this way. Hopefully that works out for all of these things, because I think all of that is forced. Okay. So I need a vertical segment in here that sums to a single-digit number. Oh, sorry, in here that sums to a single-digit number. What numbers do I know for sure are in here? That's a good question. So I know there's a 7 in here. I'm going to guess I know that I can't have 2 of these involved, is going to be the point. I know there's a 7, 6, 5, and I know there's a 4. No, I don't know there's a 4. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I know there's a 2. Well, that's annoying. Okay, so the point is I actually can have a length 2 vertical segment that sums to 9 in this column, annoyingly. That is the sad. I was hoping I could force it to be there. But I cannot. Smart point from Nico. This can't turn down because we've already got all of our clues in this column. So this goes at least that far. Yeah, 8 in row 3 is in one of these 2 cells. That's true from Josh. Okay, that's a good point. So I guess before I do Garian's point, it's worth noticing this can't turn right anymore. Because if this turns right now, in order to avoid just having one clue over here... Oh no, this could still turn right, never mind. But Garian's point is correct. If I put yellow all the way over here, I definitely can't make this 0 clue, because I'd have to use this to sort of re-enter red, and I'm not allowed to re-enter red. So Garian's point is well said. None of those can be yellow, so therefore all of these are yellow. Oops, I tried to hit yellow, I just did not go. Okay, so Nicholas wants me to use these X's. And note that I know there's a vertical segment either here or here. So in particular, Nicholas wants me to use the fact that this cell, really, this is all Nicholas really wants me to do, use that this cell is definitely in the loop. And so if I know that this cell is in the loop, that's enough to tell me, together with my X marks, that this loop can't turn this way, because if this loop turns this way, it just continues right on out of red. So Nicholas wants me to do that, which also forces that. Just to think about the 6 clue. And the thing that's nice about that is it tells me what my 10 clue looks like. So now that's a 2. So no 2 goes there. Right. Okay, no, this could still be a 7. But I certainly can't continue all the way down. Oh, right, that's not the 10 clue. Sorry, that's not the 10 clue. But it is true that this can't continue down. Because if this continues down, I have a single cell sum with a 7 and a 2 and something else in it. So this has to go this way. And now, because I need to get to this cell, I can't go left, because I will be forced to exit red, so I must go down. So these now are 3, 6 as a pair in order to make that work. And now these are my 13 clue. So now they have to be a 6 and a 7, the 3. In order to make that work. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That's the button I meant to hit. This is a 2. Because these two needed to have a single-digit sum. I don't know how chat convinced me to undo that before. These are from 1, 3, 4, 8. No, not 3. Because this one's not a... No, that's just all nonsense. Sorry. This is from 1, 3, 4, or 8, but it's not 3 or 8. So these are a 1, 4 pair. Because 3 and 8 are in the box. And so these are the something and a something. These are a 5 and a 9. Which makes that a 7. And a 9. So 3 or 4 doesn't matter. Oh, wait, maybe it does matter, actually. Sorry. So these are now... Sorry, these sum to 23. 24. So these need to add to at most 6. So, no, they need to add to at most 5. And so they need to be 3 and 2. If I use a 4, it's already too big. So that's a 3 and that's a 2. And that's a 4. And that's a 1 and a 4. And that's a 1 and a 3 and a 4. No 2 there anymore. No 1 there anymore. If this goes up, it's still okay. Still scanning to see if I know which of these ends connects over there. I agree I need a second segment in row 5, but even if this goes up, I'm allowed to do that, which is just fine. Because red is supposed to connect to yellow, so if red connects to yellow down here, that's okay. Actually, ew. turns my stomach a bit. It breaks row 1. It breaks row 1. So the thing I was looking at is, okay, this could be the thing that gives me the question mark, but it doesn't have to be, because it could be that I get my question mark by doing something like that. But the reason it can't do that is, Tallcat has a much easier way to see it than the way I was about to say it. That would require a second vertical segment here. So the point is, this does not go up. Whether you use Tallcat's argument of looking at the clue or my argument of looking ahead 17 steps, whichever one you prefer, does do that. Yeah, maybe it is a good time for aggressive Xing in this column. So now that means this has to be yellow, because again, this sum, remember, needs to get to 13, and it's not getting to 13 with these. It ends here. So now that's yellow. These are all yellow. These are all gray. So these 3 cells need to sum to 13. So at absolute maximum, these sum to 11. So this is always at least 2. But at absolute minimum, these sum to 8. So this is a maximum of 5. It's not a 3 or a 4. So this is a 2 or a 5. If this is a 5, that's a 7. And this would need to be a 1, and it can't be. So this isn't actually a 5. It is a 2. And so now I need these to sum to 11, which they only do as 4 and 7. Making that work for me. That's not a 3, that's not a 4. This needs to be a vertical loop segment, because I need an extra double-digit vertical loop segment in order to make this work. If this loop turns here, it leaves the region. And then I have a problem. Oh, maybe not yet. I'm not yet quite prepared to say that. I may become prepared to say that over time. Right, okay. The point is this segment is where it's forced. If this segment turns here, it's forced out of yellow, and then this segment can't possibly work. So it's forced to do that and that. So that part is forced, at least. So this number needs to be at most a 7. So it's not an 8 or a 9. This number can only be a 6 or a 7 in order to keep this a single cell sum. This digit needs to be at least a 2. Okay, so where is the 1 going in yellow, actually? Is that an interesting question? 1's not going in any of these places in yellow. So 1 in yellow is actually only in one of these 2 spots. This cell is never part of the loop anymore. And that's going to be interesting, because if this cell is never part of the loop anymore, what it means is this can't go down here. Because if this goes down, the only place it could enter is here, but that's a problem. So therefore, this has to turn there. And now once it's turned there, for the same reason it couldn't turn down there, it can't turn down here, it must continue. And now because of my x's, it must continue. And now this is forced. Uh-oh, now it's broken. Oh, right, okay. Nope. I see what I did. It is true it can't turn down. What we just proved by bifurcation is it can't turn that way. So it actually has to turn that way. Let's see. Is that eminently visible? Yes. If it does go this way, it's forced, as we said, to go over here. And now I don't have room to fit my 0 clue in row 1. Is the point. And so this doesn't turn left, it turns right instead, which forces it to go not there. Forces it to go at least to here. Now this can't go here anymore, because if it does, this is now stranded. So it must go down instead. Right, and this can't turn there, because that would be a third horizontal streak in this row. So that has to do that. Now this can't go that way, so it's got to go that way. It can't re-enter red, it can't go down because of that. So that gives us our 0 streak over there. This can't turn left because I only have one horizontal streak in row 3. Can't turn right for the same reason, so it has to go up. This has to these two have to connect, and the only way they can do that is to connect directly. This can't go horizontally because row 2 has all of its clues, so this goes up. And so we have finished our loop. Let us fill in all of these. So these are apparently a 5-7 pair. Is that really right? 1, 2, 3. Can't be 4. Could be 5. Can't be 6. Could be 7. Could be 8 or not. Yes, these are a 5-7 pair is the point. So this is a 6. I wonder how Tallcat spotted that. This is not a 6 and not a 6, since Tallcat doesn't like pencil marking puzzles. That's not a 5. That's not a 7. These need to sum to a double-digit number, so this is never a 1 because of that. So that's the 1. Yes, you should put your Zach loop emotes in chat for the loop completion dance. Okay, this means I've screwed up something. Oh, no, it doesn't. It just means I'm trying to avoid looking at the bet tree. Got it. Okay. So this is a 3, 4, 8 triple is the point, because 3, 4, and 8 are the things left. So there's an 8 up here, so this is not an 8. In fact, I even have pencil marks that tell me there's an 8 up there, so therefore that's a 9, which makes that a 5 and a 9, which makes that a 7 and a 5, makes that an 8 and a 9, makes that a 3. And so these are 4 or 8, but we needed to put the 8 in one of these two cells, so that's an 8. And our betting tree is a 4. So congratulations to all the 4 bettors out there. May all your betting tree wishes come true. That was delightful. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was going to be much harder than it was. It was long, but it was very smooth. I really liked that. That is that is another fantastic Tallcat contender puzzle. Excellent. Now, could someone remind me? I want to stop before Meme Rister's interview today. Meme Rister is streaming in 2 hours and 10 minutes. Is that correct for Meme Rister's interview later today? I believe. So I will try to make sure I don't pick any puzzles that would result in that. Yes, definitely a very worthy puzzle anniversary puzzle. All right, I am going to take a quick break myself, but I will be back with some other puzzle. So be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone. Next up, I wanted to do this kuraban puzzle. So this puzzle is how Kuraban proposed to his now spouse. I believe they got married on Friday. So as a little celebration for Kuraban's wedding, I wanted to do this puzzle. I'm told it is a relatively straightforward puzzle, but it's an exciting thing to have a puzzle for a significant other, so I thought it would be fun to do. I believe Kuraban is currently otherwise busy, so we'll not see this until later, but I thought it would be good to see. So therefore, I have no idea where to put a betting tree. We'll put it in the only cell in the grid that doesn't have a clue on it. I guess there's 2 cells in the grid that don't have clues on them. So we will take that. What is the purple line? Is the purple line anything? I don't think the purple line is anything. Okay, so let us have a look at what is going on. So we have killer cages, which tell you the sum of the digits inside, and additionally also tell you that the digits don't repeat. So these are 5 digits that sum to 25 with no repeats. And if you look here, it'll tell you there's a scadzillion options for how that might work. But we can have that anyway. For example, it tells us that this cage sums to 1. So we might be able to figure that out. These are arrows. So the digit in the circle is the sum of the digits along the arrow. So if these were 1, 3, and 4, for example, this would be an 8. Likewise for these. So these are going to have to be pretty small in order to make this work. We'll do the math on that in a minute. These are thermos, and so starting at the bulb, you start with the smallest number, and then the numbers strictly increase, going up from the smallest to the next smallest to the next smallest. And the digits on the x have to sum to 10. So those sum to 10, those sum to 10. Okay, so let's start with math up here. So I want to think about what the maximum the sum of these two things is. The maximum the sum of these two things is 18. And so the minimum the sum of these things is, you might think, is 15, but it's actually more than that. It's actually 15 plus this cell. So this cell could never be a 4 or a 5, because 15 plus 4 and 15 plus 5 are too big. 15 plus 3 is okay. So the absolute minimum sum here is 16, which means these have to be from 7, 8, 9, because 7 plus 9 would be 16, but then they can be other assorted things like that. So these come from 7, 8, 9, like that. Actually, can I make this if I don't use a 7 or a 9? Or is that no longer possible? Yes, I can. Darn it. I was hoping 7, 9 didn't work because of what it did to the cage. Oh, actually, sorry. If these being a 7, 9 pair wouldn't necessarily rule 7 and 9 out of all of these. Oh, I can turn on row and column numbers if I can find it. There we go. Okay. Certainly this being the first digit of the sum of these 5 can only be a 1, 2, or 3. Oh, I didn't write in, by the way, that these can actually have 6 in them. Was a lie when I wrote those. I was just calculating what the minimum was. I wasn't actually really intending to write those in as candidates. So I'm just going to leave the 1, 2, 3 there. The 1, 2, 3, that proof was solid. But and the 7, 8, 9 I intended. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I was just writing in for expositional purposes, not for claiming that that's actually how it works. By the way, this is a 1, but I'm not going to dance for the 1 because the 1 is just a given 1. We'll save our dancing for real digits. Let's see. 21 and 5 almost always has a 1, but not always. Interestingly enough. These two digits sum to 10. Sure. 45 minus 40 is not that. 45 minus 40, there we go. 45 minus 40 is actually 5. Okay, got it. Okay, so the outies in this row actually sum to 5. So they're from 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's certainly not a 1. So that's actually more interesting than I was willing to give it credit for at first. So this is from a 1, 2, or 3. Assuredly, I need... Yeah, so I get a virtual 1, 2, 3 triple in this row because there's always at least 2 1, 2, 3s in a 5-cell 21 cage. So we have that as well. So these are not from 1, 2, 3 for whatever that's worth. I don't think it's even worth pencil marking if they're not from 1, 2, 3 actually. What about this row? 13 plus 18 is 31. Plus 1 is 32. So these digits sum to 13. So yeah, that's not super interesting either. Let's see. 12 and 12 is 24. Maybe these all together is actually getting interesting. 23 plus 9 is 32. So a minimum of 7 is 39. So these actually sum to an absolute maximum of 6. So they're from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if we want to mark that. It is true that if this is a 1, then we run into some problems here. Because if this is a 1, then suddenly this could be a 4, say, and then the minimum of this 5-cell line would be 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And that actually is 23. So if this is a 1, the minimum sum of this is a 23. That's not going to work. So this is never a 1 for whatever that's worth. Let's see. I guess, yeah, if I was actually smart about this, I'd actually say, well, it would be a 14, actually, would be the actual minimum. Or sorry, would be the actual maximum, but I can't even get to 14 there anyway. So I didn't have to do any elimination. I could have just said, if this is a 1, this is at most a 4, these 5 would have to sum to at most 14. I can just then ignore all the rest of it. Let's see. Okay, so Sayori is saying if I maximize this at 24, these would be 24 plus 6. That would be 30. I would need these to add to 15. That sounds right. So if I make this a 2, the absolute maximum these can be is 24 plus 24. Or sorry, 24 plus 2 plus 4 is 30. So these would need to be a minimum of 15, and that doesn't work. So yeah, so this is a 3. We can do a dance for that. We can do the 3 dance. Ba-boop-ba-doo! Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doo! Woo! Boop-a-doo-doo! Woo! Wah-ha! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So yeah, so no 3 there, no 3 there. So now these sum to a maximum of 34. So in the absolute maximum case, this sums to 34 plus 7. Well, that doesn't work. 34 plus 7 would be 41. That would mean these two would sum to 4, but they can't. So this can't be a 4. If this is 31, 31 plus 4 is 35. That would make these sum to 10. That doesn't work either. So this can only work as 32. 32 plus 5 is 37. So these sum to 8, if I did that correctly. And so therefore must be 1 and 7 in order to make that work. That was a cute little flourish there. So therefore that's a 9. Sadly, it's not an interesting 9. We've got that there. Okay, what about this 9 cage? 2, 6, and 4, 5 are both possible, unfortunately. So the 9, oh, but the 9 in this box is in the 12 cage. In fact, the 9 in this box is here. Just by math, because I can't put it on the bulb of the thermo. And so these are a 1-2 pair, and they actually go in that order. And now this is a 4, 5. So this isn't 4 or 5. That's no longer able to be 2. So we've got that. Okay, so no 3, 9, but we can still be all the other options. All of those are still fine. Oh, if I just use the killer calculator and mark that I know that this doesn't have a 1, a 4, or a 5, then I'll get that this is 2, 6, 7, 8. Yes, this is 2, 6, 7, 8. You can see that, right? Yes, you can see that. So if you have not realized this, you can use the killer calculator and just double-click something to say, I know that's not in the cage, and then it'll give you all the possibilities. And so this will be 2, 6, 7, 8. And so that will be a 9, and that will be a 3. In order to make that work. This will not be a 9. This is a 6. So, in fact, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is a 3 because of the thing we said before, because the sum of these numbers is 15 plus that digit, but the sum is also 18. So this is a 3. Not quite what I expected, I'll be honest. So these need to sum to 6, so they don't have a 5 in them. So these don't have 2 or 4 in them. They are 1, 5. These digits aren't 2 anymore because of the 2, 4 pair there. So these are, these are from 6, 7, 8, and 5. This 12 cage is not 3, 9, or 5, 7. So this 12 cage is actually forced to be 4, 8, which knocks 8 out of those cells. This is a 5, a 6, or a 7, but it's not a 5. So this is only a 6 or a 7, just by the row. Let's see. This is certainly not an 8 because it's in the bulb of the thermo. That can be at most 8, or the tip can be at most 8. So one of those is a 2. It would make most sense for that one to be the one that's the 2, but who knows? Oh, I know that one's not an 8 either, because there's a 4, 8 pair there. So these are a 2, 6, 7 triple. Let's see. So in this row, we have some outie stuff, because remember, these two summed to 5, so this is a 3. So this is not a 3. Sayori notices that 8 is hidden in column 1, because I can't put 8 partially along a thermometer if I can't put 9 in the tip. I can't put 8 here because it would put 9 in the arrow. I can't put 8 here, it would put 9 in the arrow. And so the only place for 8 is, in fact, there. And we had outie math over here, too. So 13, 14, 24, 32. So these needed to add to 13, so that's a 5. So let's see. So this 13 cage, I guess the fact that those add to 13 makes the fact that this is a 13 cage very boring. Unfortunate. Let's see. I know there's a 3 down here. Not immediately interesting. This is either 1, 7 or 2, 6. But who knows? Let's see. Okay, so now Screaming Ice Cube points out, where does 4 go in column 1? Not on a 2-cell 8 arrow, because that would be 4 plus 4. And so there's nowhere else for it, so the 4 goes there, with a 1, 2, 3 down here. This can't be a 5, so this is a 6 or a 7, and that's a 1 or a 2. That 1, 2 pair looks up there and gives me the 5 and the 1 up there. Bounces down and tells me that's not a 1. Would one of these combinations break every X? If this is 1, 7... okay, so what can the X be? So the X is never 4, 6, or 3, 7. So it's always 1, 2, or 8, 9. Sorry, it's always 1, 9, or 2, 8. It's one of those. If this is 1, 7, that's fine. If this is 2, 6, it's fine. Okay, I think it's always fine for it to be one of those. As best I can presently tell. It's a virtual 1, 2 pair. Right, okay, so that's the point. There's a virtual 1, 2 pair here, because there's always a 1 or 2 here and a 1 or a 2 there, so therefore this needs to be a 3. Also, this is not ever a 1 or a 2. So this is a 1 or a 2. Gives me a virtual 1, 2 pair in the row, although that doesn't matter at all. Let's see. There's a 2 down here somewhere. If this is a 4, this could only be a 2. Let's see. Nicholas is giving me an excuse to pencil mark this, so I'll oblige. I can probably pencil mark this column as well. Agree, this can't be 2. It can only be... If this is a 4, this can only be 1. Oh, no. Sorry, no, right. Sorry, no. This actually sees all of 1, 2, and 3. Thank you, Nico. I missed that. So this cell sees all of 1, 2, and 3 looking around it. So this can't be a 4. It can only be an 8 with a 4 there. So one of these two is a 4, and it's going to be hard for it to be that one. Yeah, that just can't be the 4. Because this would need to go 3, 2, because that can't be a 1. So in fact, that's the 4, which makes that... Uh-oh. We broke it. How did I break it already? Oh, because that could be a 4, sorry. That's not a 4, because that would have to be a 9. That's not a 4. I don't know why I didn't even consider that cell. That's the 4. Somehow in my brain, that was just invisible. Let's see. So we're down to 5, 7, 9, or 6, 7, 8. It's a circle, so it's odd. That's probably what I was thinking. We'll go with that. That is at least an intelligible thought. Now the 13 cage is 6, 7, because it can't be 4, 9, or 5, 8. That's true, Sayori. Oops. 6, 7. There's a 7 in this cage just by cage nonsense. So there's a 7 over in one of these two cells to make that work. Let's just fill in this quad here, remembering that these can't be 6 or 7 because there's a 6, 7 pair in the row. That gives me a 2, 4 pair in this column out of ludicrous places. So that means I can pencil mark this column now, remembering that there's no 2 or 4 in any of these cells. So this is at least a 5. So this is at least a 6 going there. 2 in row 9 looks useful. Yeah, 2 in row 9, if I look at it, needs to be on the thermo. So it can only go in one of these two spots. And therefore, this is a 4 and a 1. Thank you to whoever pointed that out. So this is a 2 and an 8. That is a 1 and a 7. That's a 6 and a 2. That is a 7 and an 8. That's a 2. That's a 6. It's the first time in this puzzle we've gotten a good digit in one of the places. We got a 7 in a bulb. That's always exciting. All the previous times we've gotten like, oh, the thing in the bulb is actually the tiny thing, or the thing in the tip is actually the big thing. But there we got it. We nailed down the 7 there in the bulb, which locked in a lot of other stuff. No 2 there, no 6 or 7 there, no 8 there, for lots of reasons actually. No 4 there. So let's fill in these cells. One of these is a 6. Okay, this is an 8 or an... Oh, no, this is only a 9, actually. If you look at the thing, this needs to be 7, 8, or 9, but it's not 7 or 8, so it's a 9, which makes that a 9. Makes these both not 9. So if this is a 5, this needs to be a 4. If this is a 6, this needs to be a 3. But this can't be a 4 because there's already a 4 in the box. So this is a 6 and a 3 like that. That's a 5. That's a 6, just completing my sum, which I somehow remember to do. I usually do not remember that. No 6, no 6. No 6 there either. No 6 or 9 there. No 9 there. One of these two is a 9. Oh, 1 just by sudoku is now hanging out on this thermo, and so it can only go there with a 2 there, making that a 4 and a 2. This is now a naked something. It's a naked 3 because of the 8-9 pair in the row. Let's see here. Let's see. We can fill out this column now. Let's see. These are from 5, 7, 9. Fill out this column now. Well, there's not a 5 on the X. I'll go ahead and tell you that. And because this is 7, 8, or 9, this is not 7 or 8. And actually, the only way this works now is a 7 and 3 we see. So that's a 5 and a 9 and a 7 and a 5 and a 4 and a 3 and a 9 and an 8 and a 9 and an 8 and a 4 and a 6 and an 8 and a 6. So let us mark all of these up. So that is a 1 and a 5 and an 8 and a 1. Let's see. So now we have many things having happened. So now we need to figure out how to make 21, I suspect, is the thing I'm supposed to figure out. Conveniently, the killer calculator means I don't have to math it. It actually tells me that if I have a 1, a 3, a 5, and an 8, the other digit has to be a 4. So that's a 4 and that's a 7. It's a 5 and a 4. It goes up there. Let us mark up these. So therefore that is a 7 and a 5 and a 7 and a 2 and a 5 and a 9. And that is a 6. So congratulations to all the 6 bettors out there. May all your betting tree wishes come true. And we got a $5 donation from David with a little good job. Is that a puppy? I think it's a puppy. It's adorable, whatever it is. But thank you, David. We will get you a donation dance. Woohoo! Woohoo! Thank you so much, David. Much appreciated. Very much appreciated. Lovely puzzle, Kuraban. I'm very into the sudoku romance genre of puzzle. If you have not seen it, some years back I made an anniversary puzzle for Tristan that I then in secret submitted to Simon, and Simon did it on our wedding anniversary. So if you look back in the zetamath catalog and you want to see Simon's solve of it, it's called 625. So I recommend that. It's one of my favorite puzzles I've ever made, both for sentimental reasons and because I really enjoyed Simon's solve of it. Even though I think Simon felt quite pressured to successfully solve it, but does so, I can spoil. So I recommend that as well. Congratulations, Kuraban, on your wedding, and I hope to see you around in chat soon. All right, I will take a quick break, and I will be back with more puzzle. So see you soon. Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. So next up, we have a sum detector phenomeno by MicroStudy. Let me explain how phenomeno works. So in a phenomeno puzzle, you have to sort of divide the grid into these groups of sort of cells. I'm going to call them ominoes, but MicroStudy calls them regions. So this would be a pentomino because it's of size 5. Okay, and phenomenos are very much not Sudoku puzzles because the digit you put in every cell is the size of its region. Also, this result is hilarious for the conflict checker, because the conflict checker somehow notices that these two should not both be 5, but then is totally okay with all of those 5s. So let's turn the conflict checker off, because it's not going to work, because this is not a Sudoku. I don't know where the conflict checker is. I still don't see it. There we go. Okay. So the only rule when you're making your ominoes is that you can't make two ominoes of the same size touch. So I could make a sex omino there like that. That's totally fine. But if I then do this, I have now broken the rules of Fight Club because I am not allowed to put two 5 ominoes next to each other. That would be against the rules. Okay. Now, additionally, we have these sum detector arrows. And so the sum detector arrow, what it means is that the digits in the direction of the arrow sum to this digit, some number of them. So, for example, this could be a 4 and a 5, that would work. Or this could be a 4 and a 2 and a 3, or it could even be a 4, and a 1, that would be okay. Some number of digits, and note I could even do weird stuff like 1, 2, 1, and 5, that would work as well. Some number of the digits in the direction of the arrow sum to the digit on the arrow. Yeah, they're sort of, as Jay Dyer says, they're bulbs of build your own arrows. Now, additionally, there is a rule that you can't do the obvious thing, which is that you can't say that 9 is the sum of 9 and just put these together. They're always in separate ominoes. Okay, so by way of noting that for myself, I'm going to draw... oops, I have this now on center only. Now I actually want it on edge only. I'm going to draw in these edges just to remind myself that I know that all of these are things. They can be the same digit if it points diagonally, but not part of the same region. So you can do a sum of the single digits on diagonals, is my understanding, but not if they're the same region. So if this is a 9 and that's a 9, it's fine, as long as they're different in nominoes. Let's see, this one is going to do that. Over here, this one's going to do that. This one's going to do that. Let's see, do I have all of the orthogonally pointy ones? Yes. So exactly as Jay and Garian say, what's happening with this omino is that this omino is different from this omino, but they have to have the same sum, or have to have the same value, and so these must both be 1 is the point, because if this were any larger than 1, we would have a problem. So we get to do our 1 dance. Ba-boop-ba-doo! Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doo! Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop! Ba-doop-ba-doop! Wah-ha! Thank you, Zach. We'll give 1s the color of despair. So we have that. Now, it's being pointed out, exactly the same thing happens here, except that these don't have to be 1s. Yeah, let's try and find a bet tree. It sounds like some people in chat have done this, so I'm going to randomly guess that. But if someone in chat has done this puzzle, and would like to give me a better bet tree, I will be happy to do that. Also, row 2, column 7. Yes, these two are the same as well. So I guess the thing that lets me do is it lets me draw in a border there, 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 and there. Because of that. Row 2, column 8 bet tree is recommended. Okay, we'll do row 2, column 8. Hey, MicroStudy. I hope you are doing well. Oh, but now I'm being told my other bet tree was also good. We'll move it back. Hello, MicroStudy. I hope you are. I hope you are doing well. This general area is good. Okay, so a thing I'm noticing is that the sum of these two cells is the same as the sum of these two cells. Because, again, this is definitely a 2-cell sum in each direction. So this thing, by the way, I should go ahead and note, this is not a monomino because it touches a monomino. This is not a monomino because it touches a monomino. Okay, and so there's a relationship, there's an algebraic relationship here given by all of these things that I'm going to try and communicate with some things here. Okay. This is going to be messy, but I think we can figure it out. So this digit, whatever it is, it's equal to purple plus this digit. And it's equal to green plus this digit. Again, I know it's not a single digit sum because then these two would be in the same omino and that's unallowed. However, green is one more than purple. Sorry, purple is one more than green. Purple must be 1 plus green, because purple's not 1. And so, therefore, this digit is 1 less than this digit. Oh, Lord. Okay, so this is getting very complicated. This digit is 1 less than purple, so this digit is 1 more than that digit. And what that tells me is that this is also a 1, just by maths. Let me know if I screwed that up, but I think I did that math correctly, just in order to make that work. Okay, and purple is definitely not 2, because if purple was 2, then this would also be 1, and then that would also be 1, and that would be a humongous problem. So purple is, in fact, at least 3. So purple probably is 3, actually, because now I know that... Oh, Lord, I have to trace through this. Is purple actually 3 because of this, or am I not quite correct? So I certainly know now this is not green, because if this were green, I would be saying double green is equal to double purple, and that's definitely not correct. So this is something. Let's note. It's... yeah, and so... So yeah, so we've got all of that stuff floating around. Now, yeah, green can be 2. If green is 2, what's yellow? If green is 2, yellow is 4. Okay, so the way this works is that purple is 1 more than green, and yellow is 1 more than purple. So green, purple, yellow is a consecutive sequence. All right. Yeah, or green plus 2 is yellow. That is also acceptable, as Ilm says. Okay. This cell is double purple, but so is this. Because this cell... Oh, actually, could this cell be purple? That's the question. So this cell is either purple or it's whatever this is. I'm going to make this blue just so we have a name for it. Because the only possibilities here with this arrow are that it's purple plus purple, or that it's, in which case it is blue. or that it's only purple by itself, in which case purple would be 3. Is there something wrong with that universe? I don't know. So this is either 3 or blue. I don't have a fantastic way to write that this is 3 or blue. And a similar thing happens. Actually, does this confluence of arrows break in the world where this is purple? I want to enter the bifurcation palette and think about what happens if this is purple. Because if this is purple, now this is forced to be blue. What do you mean it just is blue? Okay, so DWeb, I think, says it just is blue. Let's see if I can see why is it that this just is blue? Row 7, column 3. No, this could be just a sum of that. It's purple or blue. No, it doesn't have to be looking at 2 times purple. It could only be looking at 1 times purple. So what's really true is this is purple or blue. That's what I'm trying to decide, is whether this is purple or blue. Those are the 2 possibilities. And it seems to me it's more likely it's blue, but I don't yet know. I do not think. This will get confusing quickly. I 100% believe that. If it's purple, if this is purple, purple is 3 57 thorns. Because if this is purple, these 2 can't connect, so this is something else. And so purple is 3, and blue is 6. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so if this is purple, Nicholas, that's not how it works. It can be a sum of one thing. So if this is purple, this is not purple, because it would actually connect there. Yellow would be at least 2, because it touches a monomino. And now the point is this arrow doesn't work. Oh, no. This arrow could still work. Blue would come here. That blue. Keep in mind, blue is now 6. Purple is now 3. Yellow is now 4. So in this bifurcated universe, these are 3, these are 6, that's 3 as well. Yellow is 4. This had better not be purple. Yeah, this doesn't work. I'm sure there's a more elegant way to see this, but the point is that this does not work. Or for that matter, this doesn't even work. Oh, I made the wrong yellow 4. Oh, did I just make this yellow at random? Yeah, there's no reason for this to be yellow. Sorry, I think my path here was I just randomly chose yellow. I don't actually know anything about this color. We'll just make it brown. But in this world, what has to happen is that now, remember, in this world, purple is 3. So what is this? It's not 3. So it'd have to be 1 or 2. But this is still... Okay, so... but this still breaks. Because this is Jay Dyer's point, by the way. This still breaks because I have a 6 looking at a 3, 2, 1, which is okay, except that the thing I'm seeing as breaking is that this has to be a 2 and a 1 in order for this to work. And that's going to break by making this also a 1. But that doesn't require row 8, column 4. That just requires this being a 3. This can't be a 3. It can't be a 1 because it's 2 cells in size. So that's a 2 and that's a 1. But now this is also a 1. In any event, the point is, this is blue. Not to say that Jay's way did not work, just to say that that was how I could see it clicking in my head. You did a Zeta. Yes, overlooking ahead is a very common symptom for all of us. I don't see any reason why purple can't be like 17 or something. It is true, blue can't take this cell, because that would put this in the same region that it points to. That's not allowed. So blue does not take that. Yeah, I should specify, I probably did not explain this. We're not constrained to 1 through 9. We can have bigger numbers if we would like. So blue is purple plus purple. So if this is blue, it works perfectly well as purple plus purple. Good spot from Jay Dyer. Yellow is smaller than blue, so this can't be a yellow pointing at a blue. So this is a new region. We can make it red. Very fiery red. These two differ by 2. I believe. But yeah, these two differ by 2. And so in particular, this being yellow doesn't work. If this is yellow, it forces yellow to be 2 and green to be 3, which are not 2 apart. So this cell's never yellow, for whatever that's worth. Oh, if this cell's not yellow... So I try and knock my desk off my table again. One of my favorite tricks. I'm really rapidly running out of colors. We're going to go into, like, Simon's sweater color. This is not yellow. And it's not green either. Because, well, it's a different color of green. Maybe I should go with the blue instead, just so they're a little further apart. It's not green either, because green is smaller than yellow. And green is smaller. Okay, green is smaller than yellow, so yellow has to grow at least 1. Yeah, I agree with chat. This is huge, because this is at least yellow plus blue. Which means it's big, because the minimum of size of this is 6. The minimum size of this is 2. So this is a minimum of 8 in size. It does now mean actually green is only 2 or 3. So we can actually start thinking about this. So green is 2 or 3 because of the fact that this pens it in. So green is 2 or 3. Yellow is 2 more than that. So yellow is 4 or 5. Purple is between those two. So purple is 3 or 4. Blue is double purple. So blue is 6 or 8. For whatever that is worth. And of course, I don't know that orange... I'm going to decolor orange just because I don't know that orange is different from our new blue friend. And I'm actually going to make our new blue friend orange so I can stick to one palette for a second. Ah, right. This cell's always yellow because yellow, we've just argued, is at least 4 or 5. It's never getting there if it doesn't take this cell. And now orange we know is huge, so this cell's always orange for sure. And so orange, remember, is at least 4 plus 6. Orange is at least 10. Therefore, this cell's certainly always orange. This cell's going to be... If this cell is orange plus orange, it's ridiculously enormous. Right. Yellow is less than orange. So yellow can't go here. Is the point, because yellow is less than orange, so yellow can't point at an orange. So yellow now is 4, and we get all the values of all of these things all at once. So yellow is 4, green is 2. Let me go ahead and put in the yellow. Whoop-a-doop, whoop-a-doop-a-doop. Blue is therefore 6. Purple is therefore 3. We can do that. We can get rid of some of these assorted additional marks. Polyomino dance. Woohoo! So blue can't go here, because if blue goes here, this needs to be purple, and that doesn't work. So blue does not go there. This is now a minimum of 7. This is a minimum of 10, so we do have some double-digit numbers. Orange can never take this cell, and orange can never take this cell, I believe. Orange always takes this cell, I believe. Right? If orange doesn't take this cell, what's going to happen? Yeah, if orange does not take this cell, orange just can't get big enough. Because orange, remember, is a minimum of 10. So orange definitely takes this cell, which means it doesn't take either of these. Which means that both of these numbers are larger than orange, and orange is at least 10. So these numbers are larger than at least 10, and this one in particular is at least 20. So that's big. I'm just going to make it green for now, since we sort of finished this green over here. In fact, I'll de-green this and make it light gray, just so that we can sort of distinguish. So yeah, this is definitely double orange, and orange, again, is at least 10. I mean, Sudoku Pad makes it really easy to make double-digit numbers. Like, if you want a 23, you just do that. So, like, Sudoku Pad supports double-digit numbers in a way that I find more palatable than the sense in which Penpa, quote, supports double-digit numbers, in that if you want to put in 23 in 23 cells, you have to select them one at a time and type 23 times. Yes, orange certainly needs to keep getting out, because orange is, again, a minimum of 10. And so orange is certainly not going to make life pleasant for anyone if it does not get out. This digit's bigger than yellow, so this digit's bigger than 1. So I don't want to pencil mark a color, but these two are in the same omino for sure. That I am willing to pencil mark. So I was looking at that. Why can't the 6 only escape out this side? DWeb says. Hey, Ace of Spades, hope you're doing well. I saw you solved Denver, which I was delighted to see. Oh, right. Sorry. This cell can't be in that region. That's the point. I was just missing that. In fact, actually, I should mark, just because it's relevant in this puzzle, that this can only be at most 6. So blue always goes here, which means red does in fact always go here. And red, remember, is larger than 6. So red needs to come up here. And red I know is not orange, so red in fact needs to come up here as well. Yeah, blue still needs more, because even if blue takes this cell, again, it's never taking that cell, so blue always needs to take that cell. Making this a 6. I might even be able to get more out of it if I carefully plan it. How did I know this cell wasn't blue? I seem to have marked that I knew this cell wasn't blue. Did I really know this cell wasn't blue, or is that a lie? Because I don't see why I thought I knew that. Right, because this wasn't a 3. Right, that was why. Right, it was because that wasn't a 3, and it would make it 3 plus 3, and then my 3 omino would have 4 digits in it. That's not okay. Okay. Again, blue gets at most one more cell in this direction, so it still needs another cell in this direction. So we get a 6 there. So this digit is relatively small. It's at most 6, but it's not actually 3 or 1. So this is only from 2, 4, 5, or 6, which I'm noting just because I see sort of like where this sum might continue. And I've got to fit some big boys somewhere. Lord, this is crazy. I mean, orange probably is 10, but who knows? My dreams have been crushed before. Row 6, column 3. Ah, yes, that's true. Candidates not 4-digit size, yes. Am I sure this cell and this cell are not the same? Yes. Because if this cell and this cell were equal, what would they be equal to? And the answer is nothing, because if they were equal, the only plausible thing, because this, if it's not 6, it has to grow. But if it is 6, this just can't be 6. So this is, in fact, always the sum of these two, is Jay Dyer's point. And so it is 5, 7, 8, or 9 in size. I'm being told it is not 5, and I agree it's not 5. It's going to require the bifurcation palette to see. But this is not 5, because if it is, then this is a 2, which looks like that. Oops. If this is a 5, this is a domino, and now where does my 5 grow? My 5 grows up here, but it's now pointing at a 6, and that does not work. So this is not a 5, and so therefore this is not a 2. So therefore, actually, we've now discovered that this is at most 6, and this is at least 7. So we, of all things, get a line there, which lets us sort of poke our head up here with, let's say, purple. We're going to go ahead and make this purple into black just for ease of use. So this cell's only a 1, 2, or 3 now. Because this needs to sum to 7, 8, or 9. Hey, Kuraban, I hope you're doing well. We enjoyed your anniversary puzzle. The red doesn't go up here, because red is certainly not 1, 2, or 3. So the red does come here. And so the orange, remember, orange is at least 10. So orange now, even if it takes one of these, that's still only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Orange certainly needs to come there regardless. Green now needs to come here, because green, again, only gets at most 2 cells in this direction, and green is double orange. So green is at least 20. Just for the record. Yeah, I remember when CTC did that puzzle, actually, although it was a while ago. Yeah, at some point, just math alone is going to tell me that if these are both orange, the world is in horrible shambles. But unfortunately, there's 100 cells total, so eating up at least 20 of them is not necessarily a huge problem in and of itself. That's true. If this is orange, red and green can be the same. I think. Possibly, maybe. Okay, what else can we do? So 6 only goes one of 2 ways. Can we break one of the ways that we could make that happen? The 6 goes here. This is a 9. That's a 3. Otherwise, the 6 goes here, in which case, who knows what happens. Let's see. What arrow should I be looking at? Row 6, column 2 can't be 5, says Ilm. If this is a 5, that's a 5. If this is a 5, that's a 1, which is interesting, but I think we can get away with that. Threes, with that being a 6, looks plausible. As best I can tell. Row 6, column 7 cannot be read because of the row 8, column 5 arrow. Ah, yes, that's true. No, this is from Gary, and I just want to reread the rules and convince myself that I'm sure that that's what it actually says. Oh, no, I don't even have to think about it. Red's certainly not equal to red plus orange. So sorry, this is just not red because it would be part of that sum, and so therefore this is red. This certainly isn't red, so therefore this is red. Well, red is certainly not a one-cell sum in any event of this. Edge below row 5, column 7, correct. This is not a 6. That's true. If this was a 6, this couldn't be a 6, and therefore couldn't be anything. So this is never a 6, because of the effect it has on that. And so therefore, this is also from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is Ambrose's point and is beautiful. So these digits are small, and so therefore this digit's small, because it's got to get out through one of these cells. And it's not a 1 because it's touching a 1. So this is only a 2, 3, 4, or 5. So this digit's equal to one of these two or both of them. Just by virtue of that. Yeah, so in the world where this is a 4 or a 5, it gets out like that. But it's true, red is now at most 12. And if red is at most 12, that cell's not orange anymore. Because if I just add all of these cells together, I get 12. And so red is at most 12. If this cell was orange, red would be equal to double orange, but orange is at least 10. So then red would be at least 20, and that doesn't work. So we finally get the monominos that DWeb has wanted. So there we go with that. Let's see. An Ilm has row 5, column 1 is small, Garion, because it's part of this sum to 6. And this was not able to be 6 because it would break all of this stuff. Oh, okay. Were you sure the sum was 11 and not 12? For red? Whatever this is, it certainly gets out. So red is one more than orange. Okay, there we go. Red is one more than orange, just by this row. And the fact that red is one more than orange, well, what is orange? Orange is either 10, or it's at least 14, in which case then red is too big. So in fact, it is true. Orange is 10, and red is 11. There we go. Okay, that math all works out. And so green is in fact 20. just to make all of that work. And 11 is 6 plus 5, so therefore that must be a 5, because otherwise, this is D-Web saw this, otherwise I would need these two to sum to 5, but they don't. They definitionally sum to 6. So that cell I've been trying this whole time to prove wasn't a monomino was in fact a monomino, such is life. So this is now also a 5. This is now also a 5. So it's not purple. So purple gets out. This is not a 4 anymore, at least. This is not a 7 anymore, because 5 plus 3 is a thing. Yep, the 5 still keeps getting out. I don't know if this is a 5 or a 6 yet. This is... yeah, this is a 2 or a 3, because purple is either... No, sorry, purple's 8 or 9. I did that the wrong way. This is a 3 or a 4. Yeah, this is a 3 or a 4. That 3 or 4 goes there. This digit's not purple, because of arrow rules, so therefore this is purple. Oh, here's a point. If this is blue, purple needs to be in the 11 sum, because these two sum to at most 9 if this is blue. But if purple's in the 11 sum, then these would have to be like a 1-2 pair or a 1-1 pair. Maybe that's not actually a problem, annoyingly. That might not be a problem. So why is it a problem? That's... yeah, exactly. That's what... if 6 is... oh! Right. Sorry, I'm being a numpty. If 6 comes here, purple has to be in the sum, but now the sum is 6 plus 8. In my head, as I was explaining this, my brain went all over the place and did not put the pieces together correctly. If 6 is in the sum, the world is horribly broken, because I've got 1, 2, 3 plus 6 plus 8, 9 equals 11. So in fact, the point is 6 doesn't make the sum. So these are both from 1, 2. And this is the 6. This is where the blue finishes. Over here. I've got my 5 sort of coming out up here, and in fact, I know exactly what the 5 looks like. It looks exactly like that. Oops. And that means this 3, 4 goes up here. Purple goes up again. People are getting that purple is 9. I don't know how people are getting that purple is 9. Other people are getting that purple isn't 9. Yeah, purple can't be 9. Purple can only be 8. Uh-oh. Because that's broken. Oh, right. Sorry. I see what I did. I was assuming purple had to be in here. Yeah, this is where I got confused before. I was assuming purple had to be involved in this sum. Purple's not involved in this sum. That's the point. And so once I let go of the fact that purple's involved in this sum, then I can just look at this arrow and say, so purple is 9. And if purple is 9, this is 4. That purple also 9. Okay, and so now, purple can be involved in the 11 sum. No, it can't, because this is a 3. Because this 9 sum has to work. So that's a 3 and that's a 3. And so 3 plus 9 is more than 11, so that has to be an 8, is what happens. So that's an, oops. So that's an 8, and that's a 1, and that's a 3, is what happens there. I don't know how I suddenly entered orange border mode. So let's color some of that. So 3s by tradition seem to have become black. 1s have become the darker gray. This 8 has to get out. Now that 8 has had to get out, this 9 certainly can't go here. Because if the 9 goes here, we've got a big problem. So therefore the 9 has to go up. It's the only direction it has available to it. Even if the 9 did go there, the 9 definitely goes here, which makes that a 4 in order to make the sum work. I had a 4 before, and it was yellow. This is purple still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's only 9 total cells the 9 can possibly take, so it's those. And the 9 is done. Let's ring around the whole border. Just in case someone's watching who will be upset by that. Row 6, column 7 is 1 because of the row 8, column 5 arrow. Right, this is 1 because of the row 8, column 5 arrow. Thank you. Yes, I agree. Red is orange plus 1. Good spot to Screaming Ice Cube. This has become 8. This is 8 no matter what. This is 8 no matter what. This is 8 no matter what. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Yellow's not 8, by the way. So this cell can't be yellow. Oh, no, it could if yellow was 2 and this was a 5. Oh, no, that doesn't work. I think that doesn't work because this digit's huge. Right, this digit definitely includes the 8, so this digit is 9 or more. Actually, maybe that's fine. Maybe that's fine. I need to give this a color, though. Let's give this a color of something spicy from the off-menu palette. Not that one. It's a little too close to one of the others. Okay, we'll give you the sort of vaguely forest-adjacent color. So yeah, let's grow the stuff down here. I was thinking this had to be resolved, but I don't think I don't think I quite convinced myself yet. But I certainly agree with chat that orange and green have to grow like this. Green is at least 20, so there's no way these aren't both green, because otherwise green is restricted to these, and that's not 20. That's only 10. So green certainly takes those. Green can't take this cell by definition because it has an arrow that points at it, so therefore green does take that cell. Green can't take this cell because there's an arrow that points at it, so therefore green does take that cell. It would sure work nicely if those were both orange, wouldn't it? It would work very nicely if those were both orange. Orange is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10. Yeah, there's 10 more. Or sorry, 3 more. To make work. Row 6, column 9 must be orange. Ah, right. Okay, yeah, sorry. I was constructing an incredibly complicated proof, including proving that this couldn't be a domino, but there's a very easy one that chat points out, which is that this arrow, how far can it go? Certainly not as far as including a green. So these two need to sum to green. Well, orange is 10, so this is also 10. Is what chat is trying to get me to see. It doesn't work for neither of these to be orange, because if neither of these are orange, this orange is only 8 cells in size. So one, but not both of these are orange. And if one of them is orange, because of this red clue, which certainly can't include a 20, it's got to be an orange and a 1. Well, the 1 can't go there, so that one's the orange and that one's the 1. Thank you to Robert and DWeb for helping with that. So that is the 1. How big is orange now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. We're still at 9. We'll take it. I mean, this is always orange or green, but I don't think I know which one it is. I know this isn't green, Josh points out, because this is less than orange, so it's certainly less than green. And so green, again, is currently capped out at these. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13. So green needs to come here. I can finish this argument now. So yeah, so what was the point up here? I've completely forgotten what the point up here was. I mean, I think I'm trying to prove that this is actually a 1. If it's not a 1, it's a 2. The point is this digit's big. Because this digit is at a minimum yellow plus 8. So this digit's at a minimum 9, so it's not involved in the 9 sum. So these two need to sum to 9, and therefore they can't be the same color because then they would be even. And so therefore, because the total needs to be odd, there's always a border there, which then means there's a border there, means I can remove the yellow and put in my monomino color. And now I use the fact that these two have to be the same color because this can't be a monomino to turn it into the forest green that it has always wanted to be. And now the forest green 8 is done. Okay, that was very elegant. So one of these two is red. And the problem is that one can't be red, because if that one's red, these two sum to 21. So that one's red. Oh, sorry, that's not the right red. Chad is helping me get here, although I think I'm phrasing it slightly differently. This one's not red. The only thing it can be, therefore, is orange. Because then I need these two to sum to 20. And now this is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It needs to grow, so it grows there. This is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is actually done. So we've got that. So therefore now this is green because it can't be a monomino. Right. This sum of 10 involves at least these two, and so that tells me, chat informs me, that this cell can't be red. So therefore my red needs to grow up here. Like that. So this digit is at most 5. If it was more than 5, these two would be the same, and they would sum to more than 10, for what it's worth. I don't know that that does a whole lot, but it's true. That's true. Okay, there's a good point. Green certainly can't take the bet tree either, because if green took the bet tree, then stuff would happen where I'd have to have 10 as a sum of 20 and like a negative 10 or something. So we'll go ahead and let that creep in over there. Funnily enough, green and red can't take this cell either, because if green and red take this cell, this is forced to be like a double 5 sum in order to make it work, but that doesn't actually work because my double 5 ends. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this is where red finishes. So red is now done. Green needs to come up here. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Oh no, 1, 3, 3, 3. It's going to be 1, 3, 3, 3. 1, 3, 3, 3 actually is 10. Spoiler. So green needs to come up here because it's not done. So now we've got, okay, how many cells left are there in the entire world? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So these are all always green. And now this has got to be green because it's got to grow into that. Okay, and so now green, in order to finish green, I need to take exactly one cell out of all of this. That one cell is going to be a monomino, so it can't touch those. How do I know which of these is the monomino? Oh, did I count to 19 and stop? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, good lord. Apparently I somehow decided that I only wanted 19 cells in my 20 amino for some reason that we won't talk about. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, so we've got all of that. So these are all 20, as is that one. Okay, so now my 20 amino is done. And now I just have to decide how my 1 and 3 are dispossessed. Row 8, column 9 arrow. Right, I need the 9 at the bottom. Because of this 20 is 1 plus 10 plus, and then I need a 9. And I know that this is 3 3s and a 1, so the 1 must go at the top. Oops. We can go ahead and finish our borders. All of these are black, and they are 3s. Woohoo! What a puzzle. That was very cool. Quite a surprising twist. I'm going to bet that this is going to be KNT's puzzle of the year, because KNT loves giant ominoes, and so giant surprise 20 ominoes out of nowhere is all anyone really wants in their Philomeno puzzle. Sweet. Was very good. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break and then come back and do a 6x6 or 2. I'm going to make sure again that I end in plenty of time for you to all head over to Memerister's interview. Pencil puzzle class when? Funny you should mention that, Ace of Spades. I was originally debating should I do both Sudoku and pencil puzzles? Probably if I did a semester version of the course, I would have time to do both. But I figured for the J-term version, it made more sense to do Sudoku. And I think it worked very well as a J-term class. So I'm planning to do it as a J-term class again, but I don't know. Maybe I'll have to have a follow-up course on pencil puzzles sometime so that people can take both. We'll see. But yeah, this is a sweet puzzle. I really liked this. All right. I am going to take a quick break, and I will be right back with some 6x6 action. Alrighty, welcome back. I believe we are going to wrap up today with a Kropke pairs Renbon puzzle. Renbon contain a string of consecutive digits in any order. So, for example, these could be 1, 3, 4, 2. That is a perfectly valid one of these. And black dots have a ratio of 2 to 1, so you could do something like 3, 6, for example. That's all the rules for this puzzle. So a thing to note is that if you have a Renbon that is 4 long and a 6x6, it always has a 3 and a 4 on it. So this digit, for example, sees the 3 and the 4 on this renbon. So this is never a 3 or a 4. It's a 1, 2, 5, or 6. And I'm going to look and see if I can find other spots like that. Maybe I cannot. Okay, what can this be? Is this somehow interfering with this renbon? Only one of these 2 digits can be on this renbon. So if this was a 2, 4, that would be, it would say the 4 had to go there. And then there would just be no 2 on it, and then it would be 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. Now, I can do little things like this, like, where did these 2 digits go in this box? Those 2 digits definitely go there. Oh. Or I could just count the length of the line. This is a 5 length. I just assumed that the first one I counted was length 4, that all of them were length 4. This one's not length 4. So yes, indeed. If this was a 2, 4, I would only be able to put 4 digits on this renbon. That's not a good thing. So this is either 1, 2, or 3, 6, is the point. If you count correctly, it is easier. Still true that those 2 digits are those 2 digits, by the way. Let's see. I don't know if it's useful, but it's true. This is on the dot. That's true. Because this, where does it go in this box? It definitely goes on the dot. So this is 1, 2, 3, 6. It so nearly sees this whole renbon, but it doesn't see the whole renbon. I'm being told it's not a 1 or a 6, but I don't see how people know that. Right. That's the point. Okay, there we go. Yep. Right. This is a length 5 renbon. So the point is, whichever 2 or 3 is on this dot needs to be on it, because a length 5 my brain is still stuck on this being a length 4 renbon. A length 5 renbon needs everything except 1 and 6. So the point is, whichever 2 or 3 is down here, it definitely goes there. And so that gives me sort of a virtual 2-3 pair in this column. Good night, DDX. So where does this 2, 3 go on this length 5 renbon? It goes there. And these are the same 2, 3. I'll go ahead and make that yellow. I'm going to get rid of the greening for now. I don't know that the greening is useful. But the fact that these are both yellow seems more useful to me. Now, Ace of Spades has a point that there are 6 total renbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So every 3, 4 in the entire grid is on one of those renbons. So every cell not on one of those renbons can just immediately be pencil marked as 1, 2, 5, 6. Unfortunately, there aren't a whole lot of such cells, but there are some, such as those. This digit is that digit. I don't know if that's useful. I mean, yellow shows up on this renbon over here somewhere, so it's not there. That doesn't seem very useful. This renbon has a 2 or a 3 on it, because everyone does, so this is not a 2. So I guess I can at least use my virtual pair to say that I know that these are 1, 4, 5, 6. for whatever that is worth. Because there's always a 2 or a 3 on a black dot. I ignored some white cells not on Renban. Oh, right. This is a white cell not on a Renban. There we go. Yes, that's true. So that actually tells me that this is a 1-2. Because if I put a 3 on here, I don't have enough 3s. That is Ace of Spades' point. And so this is always a 1-2. And so yellow is 2. Is our punchline here. Oh, I can turn conflict checker back on. I don't know why it stayed off. It usually does not. So now we can take advantage of some Svenning. So now this Renban doesn't have a 1 on it. So I guess I also know that these are the same digit. That is a 4, 5, or 6, just because orange needs to go somewhere. This is not a 1. Right. That 2 now looks up at this black dot, which makes it forced to be a 3, 6. So no 6 there, no 6 there. One of these is a 1, for whatever that is worth. So this black dot now doesn't have a 1 on it. So this black dot is either 2, 4 or 3, 6. Trying to decide if one of those sounds awkward. By coloring, this is not 6. This is not a 2. I might want to check all of the Renban lengths. Ominous. This digit goes here, I can just say, so that's always a 3, 6. Oops. So these two are the same digit. Gives me a 3, 6 pair and means that's not a 3 or a 6, it's only a 1 or a 5. In fact, these are all from 1, 4, 5. For whatever that is worth. One of these is a 2. I don't know that that's incredibly useful. Well, I know one of these is a 2, and I know one of these is a 2. If this is 2, 4, this would be 2, 4. Is that a huge problem? I don't know. I suspect I'm missing something very easy, but I don't know what it is yet. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. One of these is a 2 for sure. And so this Renban needs a 2, but it's not up here. It's over here, and it's not in the column with a 2. So in fact, one of those is definitely a 2. I saw DWeb point this out, and then Nemafish is also pointing it out. So that looks down and fixes my 1 and 2 down here. Means that's not a 1. That is yellow. So this Renban has no 2 on it at all. And so therefore this Renban needs to have a 1 on it, because now just look at the 2s. There's just no place for a 2 on it. So it needs to have a 1, and so it doesn't have a 6. So these are a 1, 2, 4 triple. So these digits are seen by a 1, a 2, and a 4. Oh, I did that backwards. I did that very backwards. This doesn't have a 2 on it. And so therefore it's 3, 4, 5, 6. In particular, this cell's a 1 and we don't talk about it. Okay, so these cells see a 4-5 pair because they see the 4 and the 5 on this thing, which I thought was going to be useful, but I don't think it is. Let's see. There's a 1 in one of these two cells. There's a 1 in one of these two cells, and the funny thing is, that gives me a little X-wing on 1s. These can't be the 1s. I always enjoy this trick. These can't be the 1s, because that would put 2 1s on the Renbon. So these are the 1s. So there's no 1 on the Renbon, actually. So I always love that setup. I have used that before. Oh, there's a 4-5 pair in this column. Should I color it? Sure. Actually, I think I can. Let's make this blue. So this blue cell, it goes here. So this is always a 4 or a 5. So there's the blue 4-5. The orange 4-5 has to make its way onto this Renbon somewhere. Oh yeah, where does the blue 4-5? Yeah, is this the blue 4-5 or is that the blue 4-5? Where's orange in column 6 is an excellent question. Orange in column 6 is here. We're going to solve another puzzle on the channel without at all finding the break-in. This orange 4-5, I know what digit it is, but I don't know if we should fill it in. But if you ask yourself where it goes in box 1, you'll know what digit it is. But the point is, this is not a 4-5. And so therefore we can color it. It's the other 3-6. So we can make it purple and make that purple. Can ask ourselves, yeah, we can place purple in this box. So there's the purple 3-6. So we can place purple in this box for 3-6. Sorry, my brain is being hurt by the fact that 1 doesn't have a color. So we're going to give 1 a color. This is now orange. This is blue, just to complete the box. We're gonna, I think, have to use the fact that orange is on this to resolve this, but maybe not. But I think we are. Let's see. Yeah, we might just have to use the thing. Box 6 can be finished. Yes, this is blue 4-5. Okay, that's good. This is blue 4-5. And so this is the other 3-6. It's the green 3-6. Okay, good. Good spot. 3-6. Okay, green 3-6 and red 1 are up here. Purple 3-6, yeah, I think I'm probably going to have to actually think about things now. So the thing that I saw before that I was a little hesitant to use because it feels cheaty is that this orange 4-5 has to go on a black dot, and 5s don't go on black dots. So orange 4-5 is in fact 4. Abandoning principles, I know. And so blue is 5. And so this is a 2-4 pair in particular, is one of the points. but 4 needs to go on this Renbon, and it now can only go on this Renbon here. I guess I could have done this whole thing by asking where orange went on this Renbon. Let's go back. Let's not do this in such a hacky way. The question is, where does orange go on this Renbon? So orange goes here on this Renbon is the point. We'll just pencil mark it there. How are people getting this order? That I do not yet see. Where's orange on this Renbon, actually, we can do as well. It's not there or there, and it's not there or there. So actually, this is orange. 4 or 5, because it is a length 5 Renbon. And so this is a yellow. And get rid of that. And so that places... Right, that places yellow in box 1. Because yellow can't repeat on this Renbon, so that's yellow. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Chat is saying row 6, column 2 can't be purple. Right, purple's already on this Renbon, so that's purple. Got it. Okay, so this is a 3 or a 6. And so this is the other one. This is the other 4-5, right? This is the blue 4-5. This is the content people come here for. Let's see. Yeah, that's the yellow. Let's see, what are these two? These two are red 1 and green 3-6. Hey, Naverio, hope you're doing well. Don't quite know what to do with that. Colors in box 2. Ah, yes, yellow here in box 2. Oops. There we go. Okay, yellow in box 2. And so what is this remaining digit in box 2? It is green. Da-dee-dee-da-dee-da. Green in box 1, points out Alima. Green can't go on the Renbon with green already, so that is green. So we're really making progress here. So this is a 3 or a 6, which actually I think is going to finish the coloring, because now that's going to place green down here, which is then going to place red here, which is then going to place red here. We won't worry so much about the digits there. We'll let that be for later. This is going to be the blue. And this is going to be not yellow or green or orange or blue or red. So this is purple. There we go. Okay, so now we can fill in all of our things that we know. So we know that yellows are 2. We know that reds are 1. And we know that purples are 3, 6. Okay, so we have successfully... Oh, not almost. Sorry, we know that greens are 3, 6. We know that blues are 4, 5. There we go. Okay, so we have successfully gotten this down here to where now I think we can feel not so much like we're blatantly cheating if we use the black dot here. It felt a bit manipulative to use the black dot before, but I think now we have earned using the black dot. So now that is 4. Blue is 5. And now we have one more thing to figure out, which is we have to figure out... I am sorry for doing your puzzle in the wrong way. Oh, yes, so we have to figure out whether this is a 3 or a 6. It's got to be a 3. There we go. So we were able to color the whole grid without using the Renbon, but then we used that to resolve it. Okay, so now I'm curious what I was supposed to see, because that if I had done that without Jay saying that we didn't even find the thing that was the intended part of the puzzle, I would 100% have believed that was 100% intended, because that all felt like most Renbon 6x6s that we do on the channel. But maybe I do every 6x6 Renbon puzzle on the channel wrong. but I am curious, because I mean, even I was being snarky by not filling in that I knew whether this was 4 or 5 right away, but that's certainly not the thing that Jay was intending, I don't think, for me to see. Unless there was some slick way to see it that it was exciting earlier. I enjoyed it. It was fun coloring. But I suspect there's a global thing that I'm supposed to see here. No problem, Memrister. I'm going to wrap up here shortly, but I am... if Jay is not too traumatized to say what I was supposed to see, Jay will put it on Discord. Okay, excellent. I will look forward to seeing it. But yes, we're going to wrap up here in just a second and send people over to Memrister's stream, because Memrister is about to be streaming an interview. So I encourage you to head over there. We will redirect you automatically. But before I redirect you, I just want to say thank you to everyone for showing up today. Thank you for all your support. If you want to support the stream, if you're interested in doing so, you can do so by... I can make myself a little bigger there. You can do so by clicking the join button down below, which will take you through to be a YouTube member. You can do that for as little as $5 a month. We greatly appreciate it. You get various sort of perks along the way, like the green name in chat and the fancy Zach emotes for dancing when we finish the loop, all those sorts of things. Thank you very much. If you choose to do that, we greatly appreciate it. Or if you already do it, we thank all of our supporters on all of our hello, goodbye, be right back screens and everything, so you can see everyone who supports us in all the various places. Do take a second to click the like button. It does help people find the VOD, and people who find the VOD then go ahead and find the stream later and come around, and then we've got more people with more things. I look forward to all of that. But for now, I'm going to kick you over to Memrister's stream. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.